Bagmati Province's Chief Minister facing floor test today. Koshi's Chief Minister wins vote of confidence. Government's push to connect entire country with telecommunication services materializing. 4G internet launched in Badimalika. Nepal's lawmakers call for tougher laws on violence against women. Also draw government's attention on other pertinent issues. Ukraine observing Independence Day as allies extend support. Zelensky urges tougher sanctions on Russia. Pezeshkian says Iran in a full-scale war. Remarks come as US unveiling severe economic sanctions against Tehran later today. And Nepal defeats Hobart Hurricanes in top and T20 series being held in Australia. Wins by 39 runs. Good evening, I'm Bijata Bhandari and this is NTV World Primetime News. We're coming to you live from Kathmandu at 1900 hours Nepal time. Elsewhere, it is 13:15 in London, 22:15 in Tokyo, and just after midnight in Sydney. Now the news in detail. Nepal's Bagmati Province's Chief Minister Kiran Thapa Magar's bid to seek a vote of confidence has been thrown into uncertainty due to disputes within the ruling coalition. The Provincial Assembly meeting, originally scheduled for 1 p.m. this afternoon, was postponed to 5 p.m., but it has still not begun. Disputes have emerged within the ruling CPN and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party RPP over support for the government, the selection of ministers and the allocation of ministerial portfolios. The process for the Chief Minister to seek a vote of confidence has consequently been affected. Discontent has also surfaced within the Nepali Communist Party over the distribution of ministerial positions. Although the party has issued a whip directing its lawmakers to vote in favor of the confidence motion, dissatisfaction within the party remains. Meanwhile, the Patan High Court Hitaura bench has issued a show cause order to the defendants in a writ petition challenging the Chief Minister's appointment process. In Koshi Province, its Chief Minister Hikmat Kumar Karki has secured a vote of confidence from the Provincial Assembly. He received 57 votes in his favor during the floor test held today. Members of the Provincial Assemblies from the CPN-UML and the Nepali Communist Party voted in favor of Chief Minister Karki. The Koshi Provincial Assembly has 40 UML members and 17 members from the Nepali Communist Party. Members of the Nepali Congress voted against the confidence motion. 5 members of the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party RPP did not participate in the voting. Similarly, Janata Samajwadi Party's sole Provincial Assembly member Nirmala Limbu was absent from the meeting. The Koshi Provincial Assembly initially had 93 members. A total of 83 members were present at today's meeting. Meanwhile, 3 new ministers have been appointed to the Lumbini Province government. In the reshuffled cabinet, Dipendra Kumar Pun has been assigned the Ministry of Health, Indrajit Tharu the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Planning, and Krishna Kushma Tharu the Ministry of Agriculture, Land Management and Cooperatives. The cabinet reshuffle is being carried out in line with an agreement to have 4 ministers, including the Chief Minister from the CPN-UML, 3 from the Nepali Communist Party and 2 from the Janata Samajwadi Party, Nepal. The newly appointed ministers will be administered the oaths at tomorrow afternoon. Nepal's state-owned telecommunication service provider, Nepal Telecom, has extended 4G service to the religious and touristic destination Badimalika area in Bajura of Western Nepal. With this, mobile and internet services have started operating there from today. Information and Communications Minister Dr. Bikram Tamil Sinha, while inaugurating the service virtually, said that the government is committed to ensuring that citizens in remote areas are not deprived of their basic communication rights.
Nepal सरकारको निकै ठूलो प्राथमिकतामा रहेको डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनलाई पूरा गर्नको लागि नेपाल टेलिकम र सँगै अरु प्रोवाइडरहरूले पनि निकै गम्भीरताका साथ काम गरिरहेका छन्। गएका केही साताहरूमा नेपाल टेलिकमले ताप्लेजुङ, डोल्पा जस्ता विकट क्षेत्रहरूमा आफ्नो सेवा विस्तार गरिरहेको छ र पछिल्लो चरणमा एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण ठाउँमा चाहिँ आफ्नो टावर स्थापना गरिसकेको छ र त्यसको औपचारिक सुरुवात चाहिँ हामी आज गर्दैछौँ।
As per the government's announcements, the current fiscal year will remain as the year of transformation of the telecommunications sector. Accordingly, priority has been accorded to expanding telecommunications infrastructure to remote, rural and tourist areas of the country, increasing access to 4G services, enhancing service quality and expanding new technologies. According to Nepal Telecom, processes have been initiated to construct around 1,600 new mobile towers and related sites to expand the access and quality of telecommunication services across the country. Time now for a short breather. We shall be back with more updates. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World Primetime News. Now the remaining updates. Lawmakers of the House of Representatives have drawn the government's attention to making the legal system stricter and ensuring harsh punishment for offenders to end violence against women. Seeking time from the Speaker in the House of Representatives meeting today, they said that such arrangements had become unavoidable due to the increasing incidence of violence. The MPs also drew the government's attention to issues like road safety, preventing violence against women and girls, bringing back the bodies of those who died abroad, and providing immediate relief to disaster victims. They urged the government to take immediate and effective measures to address these concerns and ensure greater public safety. Nepal's Finance Minister Dr. Swarnim Wagle has said that if the rules about the disqualification of directors of banks and financial institutions are kept only in the Nepal Rashtra Bank Act, it would create a legal contradiction. So there should be clear provisions about the matter in the Bank and Financial Institution Act, BAFIA itself. During the clause-wise discussions on the Nepal Rashtra Bank Third Amendment Bill 2083 in today's meeting of the Finance Committee, the House of Representatives Finance Minister Wagle mentioned that the related issues should be addressed in the relevant act itself.
केही नेपाल ऐन संशोधन गर्न बनेको विधेयकमा बाफियाको यो 18(1) मा यो संशोधन गर्ने भनेर हामीले पठाइसकेका छौं। अर्थ मन्त्रालयले कानुन मन्त्रालयलाई पठाइसकेका छ। त्यसैले जहाँ एड्रेस गर्नुपर्ने हो त्यही गरौँ। यो राष्ट्र बैंक ऐनमा गर्दा पनि यो अपुरो हुने भए र अन्ततगत फेरि यो गर्नुपर्ने भएर सिधै यो ठाउँमा जाँदा हुन्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ। यद्यपि अलिकति समय लिएर एटलिस्ट 24 घण्टा समय लिएर हामी थप स्पष्ट बनाऊ यसमा।
Nepal's state-owned Rashtra Banijya Bank recorded more than a 60% increase in net profit in the fiscal year 2025-26, rising from 2.83 billion to over 4.55 billion rupees. The bank, which serves more than 4 million customers, said growing income and lending contributed to the rise in profit. The bank said it is also expanding digital banking services with more than 2.08 million mobile banking users and over 911,000 debit card users. The bank also added it is strengthening its digital infrastructure and financial literacy programs while continuing to support government-backed concessional loans for young and women entrepreneurs and education. The 24th AIBD General Conference and Associated Meetings 2026 has opened in Kathmandu, bringing together broadcasting and media representatives from across the Asia-Pacific region and beyond. AIBD says the three-day General Conference serves as its annual official gathering where members review activities, discuss future projects, and address regional media development priorities. The conference is focused on strengthening regional cooperation in broadcasting and media development, with discussions expected to cover emerging challenges and changes in the media sector. AIBD comprises 87 member organizations from 42 countries and territories. Bardia National Park in western Nepal has captured 2 problem tigers within a week after they entered villages in the park's buffer zone, killed livestock and raised concerns for the local residents. The latest tiger was tranquilized and captured this afternoon in Gola village of Gerua Rural Municipality in Bardia district by a joint technical team from the National Park and the National Trust for Nature Conservation. Tigers are referred to as problem tigers when a lack of prey causes them to venture out, eat livestock, and attack humans. Both tigers are male and are believed to be old. Park officials say aging tigers may enter human settlements in search of easier prey as their ability to hunt in the wild declines. The 2 tigers now have been transferred to a rescue center in Ramapur sector of Bardia, where 7 problem tigers are currently being kept in captivity. Officials say keeping the tigers in captivity is costly, with each animal requiring food worth more than 500,000 Nepali rupees a year. Time again for a short breather. We shall see you at the other side with international updates. Ukraine is observing its 35th Independence Day as heads of state and government from various countries gather in Kyiv to reaffirm support for the country and increase pressure on Russia. Norway has pledged $9 billion in aid to Ukraine next year, matching its record support this year. UK's Prime Minister Andy Burnham vowed to maintain pressure on Moscow while chairing a meeting of the Coalition of the Willing. The UK is also providing blueprints to help Ukraine develop long-range missiles. Russia condemned the move, accusing Britain of becoming directly involved in the war. Meanwhile, fighting continued, with Ukrainian authorities reporting 5 deaths in the Kharkiv region and Russian officials saying 3 teenagers were killed after drone debris struck a children's center. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has delivered an address marking the country's Independence Day, saying that the United States has shed all illusions about Russia's willingness to end the war. Zelensky also called for sanctions that would make Moscow howl.
Путін сподівається, що ми втомились. Ми знаємо, що він смертний. Ніколи нас не розумів. Тепер уже і не встигне. Ви хотіли забрати всю нашу Україну, всю нашу землю, натомість ви втратили свої НПЗ, флот, свої прибутки і ціле своє покоління, яке пустили в м'ясорубку. Ви хотіли, щоб нас не було на карті, тепер вас немає у міжнародному порядку денному майбутньої цивілізації.
Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said the country is facing a full-scale economic, military and security war as tougher U.S. sanctions on Tehran are set to come into force later today. U.S. President Donald Trump last week announced a new campaign to increase the pressure on the Iranian economy, calling it the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country.
تصور بر این بود که اگر این کار رو بکنن در عرض ایران ونزوئلا خواهد شد. نه تنها نشد بلکه قدرتی شد که دنیا در مقابل این ایستادگی، همبستگی و انسجام حیرت کرد. ما در جنگ تمام عیار اقتصادی، نظامی و امنیتی قرار گرفتیم. خیلی راحت میگه که ما کوبنده ترین و یا وحشتناک ترین تحریم رو داریم بر ایران اعمال میکنیم و ما ایستادیم و داریم تلاش میکنیم که در مقابل این جنگ نابرابر بتونیم خدمتگزار مردممون باشیم.
At least 31 persons have been killed after a mound of rubbish at a major waste site collapsed onto nearby homes in Guinea's capital, Conakry, according to the government. Another 22 people were injured, including 6 seriously, in the city's Dar es Salaam area. Security personnel have been deployed to search for survivors after the collapse at about 2 a.m. local time, following heavy rain overnight. Rescuers were later seen using excavators to comb through a mountain of scattered rubbish at the site as local residents gathered nearby. China has activated emergency measures as typhoons Saudel, Nara and Ganari brought heavy rain and strong winds to eastern and southern coastal regions. The 3 storms, the 18th, 19th and 20th typhoons of the season, are expected to affect large parts of the country over the coming days, according to the Central Meteorological Observatory, CMA. The CMA maintained a blue typhoon alert and urged coastal areas to prepare for prolonged rainfall and strong winds. Typhoon Nara is affecting Guangxi, Guangdong and Hainan, while Ganari is forecast to bring torrential rain to Fujian, Zhejiang and Guangdong. Heavy rainfall is also expected in parts of northeastern China and Inner Mongolia. Let's take another short breather here. We shall be back with more international and sports updates. New Zealand's government has introduced legislation to ban under-16s from using social media, joining a number of countries seeking to keep youngsters off sites such as Instagram and TikTok. New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon said the platforms will be required to take reasonable steps to check users are over the age of 16.
Look, today our government is taking action to get children under the age of 16 off social media. And I think of the mums and dads right across this country who feel powerless, who feel like they simply cannot compete with an algorithm that has been designed to keep their children scrolling. And they're not imagining it. 1 in 3 of our teenagers now spends 5 hours or more a day on social media.
Australia implemented world-first legislation banning children from social media in December, with the UK, France and others following suit. Now, in other update, Russia launched a Soyuz 2.1B carrier rocket from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome in western Russia, according to the state space agency Roscosmos. The rocket successfully placed a military spacecraft into orbit, according to Roscosmos, which did not disclose details about the satellite or its mission. The launch highlights Russia's continued use of the Plesetsk facility for military and government space missions. The agency said the launch was carried out as planned, without providing further information about the spacecraft's capabilities or purpose. About 2,000 people in the western Japanese prefecture of Nara have competed in a goldfish scooping contest. Goldfish scooping is one of Japan's traditional summer pastimes. Players in the team category competed in groups of 3. 2 individual titles were up for grabs, one of which was for elementary and junior high school students. The participants gathered around water-filled tubs that each contained roughly 1,000 goldfish. They had 3 minutes to scoop up as many of them as possible. The contestants used a scooping tool called a poi, which is covered with a thin sheet of paper. Time now for sports update. Nepal has registered its first win in the top-end T20 series underway in Australia, defeating Hobart Hurricanes Academy by 39 runs. After being invited to bat first, Nepal posted 154 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in 20 overs, setting the Hurricanes Academy a target of 155 runs. In reply, Hobart Hurricanes managed 115 runs in 18.3 overs, handing Nepal a comfortable 39-run victory. The result gives Nepal A its first victory of the tournament after an earlier defeat to NT Strike. The 2026 Top-End T20 series features international and Australian domestic teams, including Nepal A, Bangladesh High Performance, New Zealand A, Hobart Hurricanes Academy, and other Australian sides. Now in other update, Nepali para swimmer Harkaman Kharti is training in Kathmandu ahead of Asian Para Games in Japan in October, aiming to compete for medals despite limited resources. The 21-year-old swimmer, who was born without arms, trains daily in a 25-meter swimming pool, relying on his legs and torso to move through the water. Kharti is training alongside 3 other disabled swimmers who are set to represent Nepal at the Games. Their preparations highlight the challenges faced by para-athletes in Nepal, where limited funding and training facilities remain major obstacles to international competition. Despite the constraints, Kharti and his teammates are continuing their preparations as they seek to improve their performances and secure medals for Nepal. Faceless humanoid robots broke human speed records and drew hundreds of spectators at the World Robot Games in Beijing over the weekend, highlighting China's rapid advances in humanoid robotics. A Tiangong Ultra robot developed by the Beijing Humanoid Robot Innovation Center completed the 400-meter race nearly 5 seconds faster than the men's world record. The same model on Saturday ran 100 meters in 9.39 seconds, about 0.2 of a second faster than Usain Bolt's 9.58-second men's world record. The performances demonstrated the increasing speed and agility of humanoid robots as developers seek to make machines capable of performing tasks that traditionally require human movement and coordination. The event attracts large crowds, with spectators watching humanoid robots compete in athletic events designed to test their speed, balance, coordination, and mobility. This brings us to the end of this bulletin, but before we say goodbye, here's a quick reminder of our top stories. Bagmati Province's Chief Minister facing floor test today. Koshi's Chief Minister wins vote of confidence. Government's push to connect entire country with telecommunication services materializing. 4G internet launched in Barimalika. Nepal's lawmakers call for tougher laws on violence against women. Also draw government's attention on other pertinent issues. Ukraine observing Independence Day as allies extend support. Zelensky urges tougher sanctions on Russia. Pezeshkian says Iran in a full-scale war. Remarks come as U.S. unveiling severe economic sanctions against Tehran later today. And Nepal defeats Hobart Hurricanes in top T20 series being held in Australia. Wins by 39 runs. That's it for this edition of Primetime News. Our next bulletin will be up at 2200 hours Nepal time. Meanwhile, do join us through our social media and get the latest updates from our official website at nepaltelevision.com. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Welcome to the studios of NTV World in Kathmandu. Public Service Broadcasting PSB Nepal's new initiative to make Nepal more visible and audible to the global audience. Welcome on board.
This is NTV World, facts that speak, insights that matter.
Telling the stories of a changing planet. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Exploring the heartbeat of Nepali creativity. This is NTV World.
The power of story shaped by technology. NTV World.
Unearthing Nepal's hidden heritage. Discovering the timeless Nepal.
Telling stories that endure across centuries, where culture breathes, stories bloom.
When the world moves, we make a sense of it. NTV World.
Taste of Nepal. Every recipe, every flavor tells the story.
Journalism in the digital age. Fast, focused, verified.
Stories hold power. Stories reflecting life. Stories of the hinterlands. Reporting for NTV World.
This is NTV World. Welcome to News Hour.
This is NTV World. Welcome to Primetime News.
One story at a time.
Crossing borders, connecting voices, where Nepal meets the world in dialogue. This is NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Voices that connect Nepal to the world, bringing perspective, region and relevance to every story. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Stand by. Mic is on.
3, 2, 1, cue.
We are NTV World.
Only after 6 decades of the institutional development of the now popular game of cricket did Nepal get the opportunity to play in the World Cup. Although cricket was introduced in Nepal during the Rana regime, the sport was confined to a limited number of people, namely the elite. It all started with equipment brought by students returning from their studies in Britain and India. Although Cricket Association of Nepal, CAN, was established in 1947, cricket remained centered among a few affluent individuals and in limited tournaments for a long time. Starting with the Vishnu Trophy in 1948, tournaments were limited to competitions like the Madan Memorial Sealed, Jugal Kishore Trophy, Rammani Trophy, and later the Jai Trophy. Even as the sport expanded outside Kathmandu Valley, it took decades for cricket to develop at the grassroots level. After the International Cricket Council (ICC) granted Nepal affiliate membership in 1988, Nepali cricket embarked on its international journey. The rule of mandatory participation in tournaments by the ICC and the Asian Cricket Council (ACC) opened doors to international competition for Nepal. After participating in the Under-19 Asian tournament in Hong Kong in 1996, Nepal has not looked back. Winning titles at the Asian and global levels, Nepali cricket team continues its journey towards the pinnacle of world cricket.
Goes down the ground because he was given that line outside off stump, so the first boundary of the contest, a handsome one.
Initially confined to Turikhel in Kathmandu, many international tournaments were hosted in Nepal after an international standard ground was built in Kirtipur. Nepal has also shown its proactiveness in differently abled cricket tournaments like the T20 World Cup for the blind in 2012 and the Asian Cricket Tournament for the deaf. Nepali women's national cricket team has also achieved remarkable success in a short period of time. The latest addition in Nepali cricket is the floodlit Tribhuvan University Cricket Stadium and the Nepal Premier League that has provided opportunity for Nepali players to rub shoulders with world-class players.
Music, dance, food, art and devotion are the lifeblood of Newar culture, an ancient civilization rooted in the Kathmandu Valley of Nepal. With lively festivals nearly every fortnight, the Newars celebrate life through a rich tapestry of traditions known as Jatra.
हेलो हजुर यो मिटिङै गर्न पर्ने देखियो अब एक दिन लाग्छ हिँडेर पठाउन नसकिने अवस्था हो
अब सरको नम्बर टेक्स्ट गरिदिनु
हजुर हजुर
म उहाँसँग कुरा गर्छु है एउटा केस आछ एकदम इमर्जेन्सी सुत्केरी हुन नसकेको
अक्सिजन चाहिने हो हैन के छ म एयरपोर्टमै छु विदिन 10 मिनेट्समा रिसिभ गरेर म रेडी भइहाल्छु रेडी कन्डिसनमा बस्ने भनिदिनुस् म यहाँबाट म्याक्सिमम 40 मिनेटमा म ल्यान्ड गरिहाल्छु
NTV World र आइसीयूमा अलर्ट गर्छु प्रब्लम लेभल भनेपछि ओटीमा पनि अलर्ट गरिरहेको छु सीएस गर्नुपर्ने हो कि
बागलुङ जिल्ला बुर्तिबाङकी 17 वर्षीय गर्भवती महिलाको हवाई उद्धार गरिएको दृश्य हो यो। 2 दिनसम्म सुत्केरी व्यथा लागेको र स्थानीय स्वास्थ्य संस्थामा प्रसुति गराउन नसकेको कारण उनलाई गण्डकी प्रदेश सरकार, सामाजिक विकास तथा स्वास्थ्य मन्त्रालयले आपतकालीन हवाई उद्धार गरी पश्चिमाञ्चल क्षेत्रीय अस्पताल पोखरामा थप सेवा प्रदानका लागि ल्याइएको हो। असह्य प्रसव पीडाले छटपटिएर मृत्युको नजिक पुगेको दर्दनाक अवस्थामा उनको उद्धार भएको हो।
हाम्रो गाउँ धेरै माथि छ अनि हाम्रो गाउँमा यस्तो विकासहरू केही पनि रहेन, धेरै कम छ विकासहरू, न शिक्षा पनि छैन, खाने पानी पनि छैन, यातायात सुविधा मात्र गएको छ अनि यातायात सुविधामा नि बाटोहरू यस्तो बिग्रने भड्कने गरेको कारणले गाडी आउन ढिला गर्यो गर। म त्यस्तै सानो उमेरको गर्भवती 2 जना हुनुहुन्छ, उनीहरूलाई नि मलाई जस्तो नपरोस् न मेरो जस्तो बच्चा नहोस्, उनीहरूलाई नि यो सुविधा पाउन् उनीहरूले भन्ने।
नेपालमा भौगोलिक विकटता, गरिबी तथा स्वास्थ्य संस्थामा पहुँचको अभावका कारण समयमा प्रसुति सेवा नपाउँदा हरेक वर्ष लगभग 1400 गर्भवती महिलाहरू तथा नवजात शिशुहरूले अकालमा ज्यान गुमाउने गर्दछन्। नेपालमा विशेष गरी प्रसुति कहाँ गराउने भनेर निर्णय गर्न ढिलाइ, स्वास्थ्य संस्था पुग्न ढिलाइ तथा स्वास्थ्य संस्था पुगिसकेपछि पनि उपचार पाउन ढिलाइ आदि कारणबाट मातृ मृत्यु हुने गरेको पाइएको छ। नेपालको संविधानको धारा 38ले प्रत्येक महिलालाई सुरक्षित मातृत्व र प्रजनन स्वास्थ्य सम्बन्धी हक प्रदान गरेको छ। गर्भावस्था एक संवेदनशील अवस्था हो। नेपाल सरकारले प्रसुति सेवालाई आकस्मिक स्वास्थ्य सेवा अन्तर्गत वर्गीकरण गरेको छ। नेपालमा मातृ तथा बाल मृत्युमा कमी ल्याउने उद्देश्यले आर्थिक वर्ष 2073-74 को नीति तथा कार्यक्रम मार्फत राष्ट्रपति महिला उत्थान कार्यक्रम सञ्चालनमा आएको छ। नेपाल सरकारले हवाई उद्धार सम्बन्धी कार्यविधि 2075 पारित गर्यो। सोही कार्यविधि बमोजिम राष्ट्रपति महिला उत्थान कार्यक्रम मार्फत दुर्गम हिमाली तथा पहाडी क्षेत्रका ज्यान जोखिममा रहेका गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको हवाई उद्धार हुन थालेको हो, जस अन्तर्गत देशभरका जिल्लाहरूमध्ये 19 जिल्लामा पूर्ण र 29 जिल्लामा आंशिक रूपमा निशुल्क हवाई उद्धार कार्य सञ्चालनमा आयो। हालसम्म देशभरका 625 जना जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको हेलिकप्टरबाट निशुल्क हवाई उद्धार भइसकेको छ।
विगत 2073 देखि स्टार्ट भएको यो सुत्केरी तथा महिला उत्थान कार्यक्रम, तर यो 2075 सालतिर आएर चाहिँ हाम्रो यो MU अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ यो महिला तथा बालबालिका मन्त्रालय र नेपाली सेना बीच भएको र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो यो प्रक्रियाहरू चाहिँ एक्सपिडाइट हुने अलिकति प्रभावकारी भएको छ। र हाम्रो डाटाले पनि के बताउँछ भन्दाखेरि 75 सालदेखि 76 यता हेर्ने भने हरेक रेस्क्यु चाहिँ डबल, नम्बर अफ रेस्क्यु चाहिँ डबल भइरहेको छ। 75 सालमा जम्मा 24 वटा आर्मीले गरेका छन् भने 76 सालमा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ 80 हुँदै 160 हुँदै यसरी बढ्दो क्रम छ। यो चाहिँ हामीले यसो मेरो पर्सनल ओपिनियनमा चाहिँ के लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो यो मन्त्रालय मार्फतबाटको जुन अवेरनेस प्रोग्राम त छँदैछ, त्यस बखत जुन हाम्रो यो नेपाली सेनाको हेलिकप्टर चाहिँ गाउँ गाउँमा पुग्दाखेरि चाहिँ मान्छेहरूलाई चाहिँ किन हेलिकप्टर आएछ भन्ने कुराको चासोले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो गाउँ गाउँमा चाहिँ एउटा अवेरनेस हो। हेलिकप्टरले चाहिँ नेपाली सेनाको हेलिकप्टरले चाहिँ सुत्केरी महिला रेस्क्यु गरेको छन् भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो हेलिकप्टरको आवाज र त्यो हेलिकप्टर त्यो गाउँमा घुमेको हिसाबले चाहिँ त्यहाँको स्थानीयहरू पनि अहिले यो सम्बन्धी चाहिँ अवेर हुँदै आएका छन् र यसले चाहिँ एउटा पोजिटिभ मेसेज गएको छ यो हेलिकप्टरले रेस्क्युले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ। हजुर, मोड अफ अपरेसन नै अलिकति फरक हुन्छ। हाम्रो जुन मेन्टल स्टेट हुन्छ, सकेसम्म समयमा नै पुगौँ र समयमा नै सुत्केरी महिलाहरूलाई चाहिँ नजिकको हस्पिटलमा पुर्याइदिउँ भन्ने हाम्रो मनसाय रहेको हुन्छ।
संघीय सरकारको उक्त हवाई उद्धार कार्यक्रम सञ्चालनमा आएसँगै गण्डकी प्रदेश सरकारले पनि प्रशासकीय ऐन 2075 को दफा 2 ले दिएको अधिकारको प्रयोग गरी जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती र सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको हवाई उद्धार कार्यविधि 2080 लाई कार्यान्वयनमा ल्याएको छ। सोही कार्यविधि अनुसार हाल गण्डकी प्रदेशमा गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको जटिलता व्यवस्थापन कार्यक्रम अन्तर्गत निशुल्क हवाई उद्धार सेवा सञ्चालनमा आएको छ। ठूलो महत्वाकांक्षा र प्राथमिकताका साथ सञ्चालनमा ल्याइएको यस कार्यक्रम मार्फत हालसम्म 56 जना जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको हवाई उद्धार भइसकेको छ। गण्डकी प्रदेश सरकार सामाजिक विकास तथा स्वास्थ्य मन्त्रालयको टोली छायाङ्कनका निम्ति धवलागिरी गाउँपालिकातर्फ अघि बढेको दृश्य हो यो। टोली जति अघि बढ्दै जान्छ त्यति नै सुन्दर प्राकृतिक छटाहरू देखा पर्दै जान्छन्। अनुपम सौन्दर्य तर जोखिमपूर्ण यात्रा, प्राकृतिक मनमोहक दृश्य अनि दुर्गम बस्तीहरू, यस्तै अद्भुत अनुभूतिहरूसँग रमाउँदै टोली ताकम गाउँ पुग्दछ।
असाले काम हुँदा मात्रै अब छरिने हैन, चराउने राम्रोसँग अनि पालिनतिर जानु भएन हैन।
हालसम्म यस धवलागिरी गाउँपालिकाबाट 7 जना जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती महिलाहरूको हवाई उद्धार भइसकेको छ र यस ताकम गाउँबाट मात्रै 3 जना गर्भवती महिलाको हवाई उद्धार गरी आमा र शिशुको ज्यान जोगाउन गण्डकी प्रदेश सरकार सफल भएको छ। यसै महत्त्वलाई आत्मसात गर्दै धवलागिरी गाउँपालिकाले आफ्ना 7 वटै वडाहरूमा एक-एकवटा हेलिप्याडको निर्माण समेत गरिसकेको छ। टोलीको गन्तव्य भने धवलागिरीको अर्को गाउँ मुदी रहेको थियो। चिसो हुस्सु र कुहिरो छिचोल्दै भीर पाखाको रोमाञ्चक तर जोखिमपूर्ण यात्रा गर्दै टोली साँझको समयमा आफ्नो गन्तव्यमा पुग्दछ। केही थकान त केही उत्साह साथमा लिएर पुगेको टोलीलाई मुदी गाउँका स्थानीयले गरेको सत्कारले थप ऊर्जाशील बनाइदिन्छ। गाउँमा आफ्ना छोरी बुहारीलाई बचाउन मद्दत गर्ने मन्त्रालयका अधिकारीहरूलाई स्वागत गर्न पाउँदा उनीहरूको खुसीको सीमा थिएन। पाहुनाको स्वागतको लागि कोही मकै भुट्नमा व्यस्त देखिन्थे भने कोही सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रमको आयोजनामा खटिएका थिए। मगर जातिको बाहुल्यता रहेको धौलागिरी हिमालको काखमा रहेको यस मुदी गाउँमा सामान्य खेतीपाती र पशुपालन नै आय आर्जनको प्रमुख स्रोत रहेको छ। यहाँ एउटा स्वास्थ्य चौकी अवस्थित छ। यसै स्वास्थ्य चौकीमा मुदीका गर्भवती महिलाहरूले प्रसुति सेवा प्राप्त गर्दै आएका छन्। प्रसङ्ग 2077 माघ 18 गतेको हो। यहाँकी स्थानीय महिला मीना पुनलाई 2 दिनसम्म प्रसव पीडाले च्याप्दछ। कमजोर भई लगभग बेहोस हुने अवस्थामा पुगेकी उनलाई समयमा नै गण्डकी प्रदेश सरकारले आपतकालीन हवाई उद्धार गरी पश्चिमाञ्चल क्षेत्रीय अस्पताल पोखरामा प्रसुति गराई सकुशल आमा र शिशुलाई घर फर्काइदिन्छ। यिनै मीना पुन र उनको परिवारलाई भेट्न यो टोली मुदी पुगेको हो। हवाई उद्धार गरी जन्मिएकी उनकी छोरी अहिले हिँडडुल गर्ने भइसकेकी छिन्।
चचाइरहेको थिएँ अनि डेट पनि एकवटा पछाडि थियो। अनि त्यस्तै हामी गोत्न बसेँ। सासु ससुरा बुढाबुढी घरमै बस्नुहुन्थ्यो। अनि पेट दुख्नु थाल्यो है बिहान। मलाई त त्यत्तिकै दुख्यो होला भने थाहा भएन। अनि फेरि पछाडि ढाड पनि दुख्ने, अगाडि पेट पनि दुख्ने गरेर व्यथा लागेको होला भन्ने सोचेँ मैले। बुढालाई चाहिँ भनेन। अनि त्यस्तो गर्दै झन्झन दुख्न लाग्यो। यहाँ एयरपोस्टमा बोकेर ल्याए चाहिँ 2 घण्टा मिल्थ्यो, तर बोक्नै मिलेन है। यसरी बोक्दा पनि पेट दुख्ने है, पछाडि बोक्न ढाड दुख्ने भएर बोक्नै मिलेन। झन् आत्तिन आयो के म त मर्छु मेरो बच्चा नि जन्माउन पाउँदैन जस्तो लाग्यो। अनि हेलिकप्टर बोलाएर सिधै पोखरा लगेर गण्डकी हस्पिटलमा हेलिकप्टरमा चढेपछि बाँचिन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ आश लाग्यो। मेरो बच्चालाई जन्म दिन्छु, यो संसार देखाउँछु भन्ने पनि आश लाग्यो। दुःख पाएँ यसरी। अब यस्तो दुःख कसैलाई पनि नहोस्। यस्तो दुर्गम ठाउँहरूमा नि महिलालाई कति गाह्रो हुन्छ। यसरी उद्धार गरिदिनु भयो। मेरो ज्यान पनि बच्यो, बच्चाको ज्यान पनि बच्यो।
धन्यवाद सरकार, मेरो बारीले मेरो नातिनीले बचाइदिनु भयो।
दर्दनाक प्रसव पीडाले छटपटिएर राज्यसँग जीवनका लागि गुहार माग्नुपर्ने त्रासको अझै पनि अन्त्य भएको छैन। त्यसैले मीना पुन झैं जोखिममा परेका अन्य गर्भवती महिलाहरूको निरन्तर सेवामा गण्डकी प्रदेश सरकार अग्रसर देखिएको पाइन्छ। सुत्केरी भएको 45 दिनभित्र कुनै समस्या देखिए नजिकको अस्पताल पुर्याएर निशुल्क उपचार गराउने प्रावधान समेत यस कार्यक्रममा रहेको छ। छोटो समयमा नै गण्डकी प्रदेशको यो हवाई उद्धार कार्यक्रमले दिएको प्रतिफल उदाहरणीय बन्न सकेको छ। नेपालमा जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूका निम्ति यो एउटा बाँच्ने विकल्पको प्रमुख माध्यम बनेको छ। यस्ता प्रभावकारी र नवीनतम प्रयासहरू नेपाल लगायत नेपाल जस्ता कम आय भएका अन्य विकास उन्मुख राष्ट्रहरूका निम्ति पनि प्रभावकारी सिद्ध हुन सक्नेछन् भन्ने विश्वास लिन सकिन्छ। तत्काल हवाई उद्धारका लागि मन्त्रालयको हटलाइन टेलिफोन मार्फत प्रत्यक्ष सम्पर्कमा आएका वा स्थानीय स्वास्थ्य संस्थाको सिफारिस पत्रका आधारमा सम्बन्धित जिल्लाको प्रमुख जिल्ला अधिकारीको समन्वयमा सूचना प्राप्त हुनासाथ जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिला र नवजात शिशुको उद्धार गर्ने गरिएको छ।
गुड वेदर भएको बेला नो प्रब्लम, हामी डाइरेक्ट जान सक्छौँ हैन। ब्याड वेदर भएको बेला अलिक घुम्नु पर्ने हुन्छ, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम लाग्छ। त्यो लाग्ने समयमा बिरामीलाई केही होला भन्ने हामीलाई चिन्तित तुर्याउँथ्यो। त्यसले हाम्रो उद्देश्य नै टाइममा बिरामीलाई हस्पिटल ल्याउने र यथाशीघ्र चाहिँ स्वास्थ्य लाभ उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ एसिस्टेन्ट हो डक्टरकोमा पुर्याउँ भन्ने नै हाम्रो इन्टेन्सन हुन्छ। गण्डकी प्रदेश यो स्वास्थ्य मन्त्रालयबाट उहाँहरूसँग मेरो डाइरेक्ट नम्बर छ, सेल नम्बर, उहाँहरूले डाइरेक्ट कल गर्नुहुन्छ। कल आउने बित्तिकै यो सेन्सिटिभ रेस्क्यु फ्लाइट भएकोले चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ इमिडिएटली अरू टुरिस्ट फ्लाइटहरूलाई साइडमा राखेर भए पनि हामीले रेस्क्यु फ्लाइटलाई चाहिँ बेसी प्रिफरेन्स दिन्छौँ। कोअर्डिनेसन चाहिँ उहाँहरूसँग राम्रो हुन्छ हामीसँग।
अस्पतालको भूमिकाको कुरा गर्नुपर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मन्त्रालयबाट चाहिँ यहाँ कन्ट्याक्ट हुन्छ। त्यसमा विशेष गरेर हाम्रो अस्पतालमा इमर्जेन्सी वार्डको इन्चार्ज चाहिँ फोकल पर्सनको रूपमा तोकिनु भएको छ र उहाँहरू मन्त्रालयबाट फोन आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ इमर्जेन्सी वार्डको ल्यान्डलाइन नम्बर छ हाम्रो र इमर्जेन्सी वार्डको इन्चार्जको नम्बर छ। कुनै पनि नम्बरमा चाहिँ उहाँले कन्ट्याक्ट गरेर यस्तो खालके केस चाहिँ एयरलिफ्ट हुँदैछ भनेर इन्फर्मेसन दिनुहुन्छ। त्यसपछि चाहिँ उहाँ जो फोकल पर्सन हुनुहुन्छ उहाँले चाहिँ त्यतिखेर चाहिँ एउटा टिम चाहिँ एक्टिभेट हुन्छ। गाइनेकोलोजिस्ट हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँलाई चाहिँ खबर गर्नुहुन्छ, म्याटर्निटी वार्डको इन्चार्जलाई खबर गर्नुहुन्छ र आइसियू चाहिन सक्छ कि भन्ने अवस्थामा अलर्ट बनाउनको लागि मात्रै भए पनि आइसियूमा बेड छ कि छैन, यस्तो खालके केस चाहिँ एयरलिफ्ट हुँदैछ अनि कसैलाई खाली गर्ने सक्ने खालके अवस्था छ कि छैन भन्नको लागि पनि त्यो खालके माहौल चाहिँ क्रिएट हुन्छ। उहाँहरूले चाहिँ त्यसरी एक्टिभेट हुनुहुन्छ र त्यसपछि चाहिँ उहाँ इमर्जेन्सी वार्डको इन्चार्ज अथवा फोकल पर्सन थ्रु नै हेलिप्याडमा चाहिँ एउटा टिम चाहिँ खटाइन्छ जसले चाहिँ पेसेन्टलाई रिसिभ गर्नुहुन्छ।
सन् 2016 को जनसाङ्ख्यिक तथा स्वास्थ्य सम्बन्धी सर्वेक्षणका अनुसार नेपालमा प्रति 1 लाख गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी मध्ये 239 जनाले ज्यान गुमाउने गरेका थिए। पछिल्लो तथ्याङ्क अनुसार हाल यो संख्या घटेर 151 झरेको पाइएको छ। सोही सर्वेक्षण अनुसार यसरी उल्लेख्य संख्यामा महिला मृत्युदर घट्नुका कारणहरूमध्ये गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको जटिलता व्यवस्थापन अन्तर्गतको निशुल्क हवाई उद्धार कार्यक्रम समेतको महत्त्वपूर्ण भूमिका रहेको मान्न सकिन्छ। नेपाल सरकारले सन् 2030 सम्ममा मातृ मृत्युदर प्रति लाख जीवित जन्ममा 70मा झार्ने लक्ष्य लिएको छ। यस लक्ष्यलाई पूरा गर्नको निमित्त स्थानीय तहमा दक्ष जनशक्ति सहितको पर्याप्त स्रोत साधनयुक्त बर्थिङ सेन्टरको स्थापनाको आवश्यकता देखिन्छ। यसबाहेक हवाई उद्धार कार्यविधि बमोजिम नाइट भिजन सुविधा सहितको निशुल्क एयर एम्बुलेन्स सेवा सञ्चालनमा ल्याउनु, उद्धारका लागि समन्वय र सञ्चार प्रणालीलाई व्यवस्थित र छिटो छरितो बनाई आपतकालीन स्वास्थ्य सेवाको टोलीलाई सतर्क र तयारी अवस्थामा राख्नु पनि त्यत्तिकै जरुरी देखिएको छ। गण्डकी प्रदेशको कुल 85 वटै स्थानीय तहमा कम्तीमा 1 वडा 1 हेलिप्याड भएको खण्डमा जोखिममा परेका गर्भवती तथा सुत्केरी महिलाहरूको जीवन रक्षाको लागि यो निशुल्क हवाई उद्धार कार्यक्रम वरदान साबित हुने कुरामा दुई मत छैन।
The gorgeous temple of Changu Narayan holds greater significance among the 4 Narayan temples located in different cardinal points of Kathmandu Valley. It is situated on a magnificent hilltop about 16 kilometers northeast of Kathmandu in the Bhaktapur district. Changu Narayan is known for its majestic temple complex, full of magnificent artworks in stone, metal, and wood. As an important heritage site of archaeological and cultural importance, with a history of nearly 1700 years, Changu Narayan was designated as UNESCO World Heritage Site in October 1979. By then, it also received the attention of international observers abroad. One of the first substantial epigraphic evidences of Nepalese history was found in the temple premises consecrated by Lichavi King Mandev, dating back to 464 AD. It shows that Changu Narayan was already developed as an important sacred place long before his time. There are various myths and legends regarding the origin of Changu Narayan. As detailed in the Vansavalis, Changu had already been established as a sacred site around 3rd century AD. The Ichangu inscription of Vijaya Kamdev, dated 1199 AD, informs that the temple was built by the king Haridatta Varma, happened to be 9th generations before Mandev. The time of Haridatta Varma is estimated as early as 325 AD. During Lichevi period, Changu Narayan was also known as Dola Shikhar, which refers to a mount or hill in the shape of Doli. Gopal Raj Vansavali and the Changu inscription also mention it as Changu, a Newari word that refers to swing like hill. But the evidences show that this particular place was popular as Changu Narayan from the earliest time, and the same name exists in the society till present. This two-storied temple is of basic Nepalese design with possible emphasis given to masterful ornamentation. The temple may have passed through series of restoration. The present structure was probably constructed in the 17th century. Changu Narayan is regarded as one of the masterpieces of Nepalese temple architecture. The older elements have been incorporated during the restorations.
Hello and welcome to NTV World Talk Show. I am Siksha Bhattrai. Joining us today is one of Asia Pacific's most respected broadcasting professionals with decades of experience in radio, television, newsroom leadership, media development and international broadcasting, she has played a significant role in shaping journalists and broadcasters across the region. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Philomena Nagaprasam, Director of the Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development. Ms. Philomena, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you. It's been wonderful coming here to Television Nepal. I think my last visit was 2019, just before the pandemic, and it's great to be here again.
So let me begin by asking, you've spent decades in broadcasting and journalism. What has been your biggest transformation yet?
I think we're transforming every day, because if you look at, even though decades, it doesn't say anything much except that content is remaining very much human oriented. But if you look at how technology has evolved, it is really shaping the way media is, the journey of media. So actually I think what I'm seeing is a rapid evolvement of technology, which actually ensures how media becomes in the near future. So today we are looking at how the onset of AI is shaping the media field itself. So it's really a challenge because broadcasters need to be really equipped with the new kind of media that's taking place, the innovation, the emerging technologies. This is what is shaping media. And the decades of experience tells us that media will always be relevant. And I'm very positive about this. Thank you.
When you first entered journalism, what excited you the most?
Well, I didn't know I was going into journalism. I wanted to be a teacher. And I got into this job by accident. I love to read. And so I ended up in this place called Current Affairs of Radio Television Malaysia. They call it the brain of RTM at that time, And I was just so young. But it excited me because, I got the chance to meet ministers and top-level people from all over the world. I think that was what was most exciting. The ability to connect with people from all over the world, to ask them questions, to interview. I think that was so exciting for me, and that was what kept me in the media field.
Okay, and the scenario, was it the same or is it the same when you joined back then and the scenario at present?
People are the same. Maybe because nowadays people have become more clever to face the camera. They're not so afraid of media. I remember my first interview was with a police superintendent, a very big man. He was a tall, big guy, and I was this little young lady. And he was so scared of being interviewed. At that time, media was like, so scarce. It's either radio or television. We didn't have internet or telephones, mobile phones at that time. So people were not so media savvy at that time. But now, everyone is a content creator. Everyone is a personality. And you can see that on social media, how they're making all the reels and stuff. So people have learned how to face the camera, how to talk, and how to communicate, not with each other, but using a medium like the mobile and whatever social media platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, many people's involvement has been like that was from before, and many young journalists are seen in the journalism and broadcasting field, and as the tech is changing as fast as ever. And can you say what changes have remained still despite all these technological changes?
Like I said, people want to see the best content. We love stories. That part about humans haven't changed. We love to talk to one another. We want to know the stories of other people. When something happens in a particular area, we want to know what happened and how are people coping with it. I think what people like are stories. And this is something that has been going on for generations, in grandmother's times or before that. Storytelling has always been the core of any media. And even if you look at all the new content creators, the new media people, there's always a story that they're telling you. And the story is because we humans want to know what's happening with other people. We're very curious. We're kind of interested in whatever happens around us. And news is doing that today. It gives us a worldview of what's happening around the world, what kind of things are happening to people somewhere, how, and in many ways, human beings are sadistic. And media, if not used correctly, can feed that sadism. meaning by providing negative news or news that is really gory, for instance, your visuals. So it's very important how media transforms itself in not creating a sadistic society, but a society that's well informed, giving the truth to them, and that's what public service broadcasters do. They bring the best for the media and the people.
Yeah, like you said, not the information not to go otherwise and in the saddest term. So there used to be, media used to be central. The main media or the big broadcasters used to be central. Now it has been decentralized. Can you say something about it?
Well, there's a lot of fragmentation, and this fragmentation has occurred because of the onset of the internet. And the internet has enabled multi-platforms, right? So we have a very fragmented medium today. So at one time, radio was everything, right? But when radio was everything, television came. And so television gained some momentum because you can look at each other, you can see the beautiful faces and pictures. And then video came. So when video came, people say, oh, nobody's going to watch TV because you already can watch what you want with video. But video did not kill the radio or the TV star. So video was there. And today we can see the evolvement of so many social media platforms. We can see so many new things that have come up. Even people listen to music on Spotify if they want just music. But radio itself has a role of informing. So I think the most important thing that we as broadcasters need to know is we have a mission. And that mission is to bring information, and not just boring information, but information that's relevant for people, and bring the truth. So if there is something that's happening, it is the broadcasters who bring that news, who bring the truth to the people. So that really is the mandate of today's radio and television, and which social media cannot fulfill. And multi-platforms are there, but they're not going to guarantee whether the story is real, because with AI, there is a lot of fake news and fake stuff and doctoring of videos. It may not even be happening in Nepal, but anybody could doctor something and create fake visuals. So this is where radio and TV becomes more important, because you're championing the truth. And whatever comes out on Nepal television, for instance, is 100% accurate. So I think this accuracy, the truth, and relevance is a key factor in media today. Yes.
But still, the leading newsrooms across the world are introducing their contents to AI-driven contents as well. So how can we be so accurate when the AI is intervening towards our content or not?
It's good to use new tools. AI is a tool, so you can use new tools, for whatever editing that you do, enhancements of visuals, for instance. But I'm really against fake visuals. I had one episode where one of my colleagues, followed me to a special event, and then he created a video of me with a person who was not even there. And I said, look, I'm not going to release this because this is fake. And this is that's what you need gatekeepers, right? So before anything goes on air, you need to have gatekeeping. And I think AI cannot be a gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is always a human. So you're not going to go out of a job, because humans are able to discern. I don't think AI has the ability to discern. The discerning power comes from humans to know what is right or what is wrong, or what you can put on or what you cannot put on TV or radio for that matter. Yes.
Journalism back then when you started, or since the early days of journalism, and the scenario now, do you think it is the AI and the introduction of the AI in the content, and it's the challenge that journalism has ever faced, the biggest challenge? Is it, or is it yet to come?
I think we are facing challenges every day, in every decade. And at one time, journalists were brave enough to ask questions, and that kind of investigative journalism was there years ago. And it was a very special field. I myself am trained in it, and the questions you ask, the way you speak, and research being done before you even pass a question to somebody, you really got to do your research. So investigative journalism was a key factor, and it is a very serious science. It's something that you need to study, right? If you go to university, you study at least 3 years or 4 years to be, in communication, understanding the communication models, the theories, the needs, the human, the Maslow theory of needs and so forth. So all these are important for you to know how to handle media. And so journalists are a very special breed. You need to be trained in it. And that's what AIBD is doing, you know, training people so that you know what questions to ask, you know how to be a good journalist. And most of all, journalism is about neutrality. You cannot take sides of any part of any conflict or any issue because you're a neutral body. But today's journalism, everyone is becoming a champion of someone. Either they are funded by somebody or they are working for some cause, or maybe it's a selfish agenda. So agenda setting has become a huge issue these days. So journalists have become like merely people sometimes who are just out there to, you know, to get a lot of likes, instant gratifications, posting stuff on social media platforms. That's not journalism. Journalism is a true science of bringing the truth and reporting the story from all angles. I think that's what real journalism is about. So yeah, I think you're a journalist, you understand what I'm saying, Siksha.
Yeah. At this point, so how we as a broadcaster can intervene in this matter?
You have the perfect example. You're on television. Show the best of yourself, you know. Interview people who have, you know, good things to say, and, you know, prepare your work. And I think you have to be a role model. I'm sure you are a famous person in Nepal, and people look up to you. So we need to create more heroes. We need to create more icons who are championing good journalism, championing the truth and professionalism in their career. Now, this is what you need to propagate. So people understand that, hey, there's a difference between what Siksha is doing and what I'm doing on social media. You know, when you're on air, you're dressed up and you're ready to face and you're a professional. So you got to bring professionalism in your work and accountability. And when you do that, then you become a real good journalist and people follow you. So maybe those who are on social media, they might be thinking, hey, you know what, I got to be like Siksha. So you become a role model and you set the trend. So become a trendsetter in the right way of journalism. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bigger role to play at this moment of time, like you said, but still most of the televisions are going digital at this hour, at this phase. But still, it's been said that television is losing people's interest for the platforms like it used to be.
Well, everything is losing interest. In time to come, you know, people always say that there will be, this will be gone or that will be gone, even social media. You don't own social media. That's the first thing we have to understand. None of us own any of these social media platforms. A radio and television belongs to a particular country. It's the heritage of your country. It's Nepal's heritage. To have Radio Nepal, TV Nepal, Akorab, all these are you know, a living heritage of your country. And so it is a part of the history of your nation. So this is why it's so important. And I don't think any radio or TV is going to go off. Radio came in the early 1900s with Guglielmo Marconi, and television came later. But you know, today we are living in the a new age. So many things have happened. During the pandemic, it showed us that radio and TV are important, and they're still very important as you know, early warning systems and tools for early warning detection. So if you look at countries where there are catastrophes and disasters, radio and TV play a crucial role. So that cannot be replaced by any social media platform, because people will not believe the truth that's being shown on social media. Yeah, thank you. So you're still relevant.
So you mean to say that television still has a role to play in the media ecosystem?
Definitely, definitely. We have to come up with the best stories. We have to understand the new roles that we take. And one of it I said is like focus on the truth aspect of it and the professionalism bit of it, and telling your stories differently. Tell the stories of the people, and you'll always be relevant, you know, because that's what social media is also doing. Maybe the way people view media is different. For instance, those days, you know, people used to sit in front of the television, but today we are watching media from our mobile, and I do that, you know, I stream that, and we're still watching television, but on a different platform. That's perfectly okay, because we have all the new platforms that are coming up. And so you need to be available on every platform possible. I think that's the key factor. You got to be available, you got to be visual, and you got to be present. And that's what guarantees success.
So we have to be updating ourselves to fit in every models.
Definitely. I think we got to change with the times, and we got to make the best of the opportunities available, right? So media presents that golden opportunity. And if it was only radio and TV, I think we'll all, it would get boring after a while. But now we have so many platforms, and everyone, all these people who use these different platforms, it's a great way to become more prominent and, more branding of your organization, actually. Yeah.
AIBD works with various broadcasters all across the Pacific region. So what common challenges do the broadcasters face?
I think money. Money is the biggest issue currently for many, many broadcasters, because a lot of ADAX or advertising revenue is going towards digital platform, where you can instantly see number of views or number of likes, and sometimes advertisers, they are looking for analytics, data analytics that come on quickly, rather than waiting for someone to do a survey in 1 year's time or 6 months' time, so it's too late. So today we live in a world of immediacy, immediate. And so monetizing your content, looking at new strategies for monetization, looking at new innovative engagement. These are some of the things that you have to employ in today's current media. And only when you are present, and only when you're positive, and only when you're professional, will people take you seriously. If we ourselves feel that, media is going to go, it's just not going to exist anymore, it's going to be extinct as the dinosaurs or something, then of course, we'll probably work towards that. But if you think of being innovative, creative, and think of new revenue models, look at new strategies that can shape media, I'm sure we can, always make it work. And governments too take action. So one of the things that AIBD does is we are an intergovernmental international organization. And at our summit, we invite all the ministers of the media and information ministers. We want them to be present because we want them to know what's happening to media today, and their role to actually, as governments, to ensure that media stays. A while ago, I said that media is the living legacy of any nation. It is your heritage, it's your culture, because for years, Nepal radio and TV have been showcasing the life of Nepali people, for instance, and social media does not keep that for you. It is the archives of radio and TV that protects all this treasure of Nepal. And so it's important to look at how you preserve this culture for the generations to come, so they understand, what is Nepal, what are the people's music, and the pictures of dances. There's so many things. So it's a living heritage that you have here. Yes.
Well, like you said, we have a very important role as a, as a state media, or maybe the public service broadcaster. So how do you see, what role do a public service broadcaster and Nepal Television has a role to play, more important role to play in the future to preserve?
I think this combining of radio and television as public service broadcasting is a great move, because there is a synergy, and also it gives you a chance to brand yourself as one organization. If it's separated, it's a huge work. It's like two different entities, but branding works with one organization, and then it gives you a direction and a vision. So I think these things need to be charted, and so public service broadcasters are very powerful everywhere. There are still organizations that are very much activated into enhancing and creating content that is relevant. If you look at television today, news and sports are perhaps one of the most consumed content. But of course, you have things like series, right? Except that on your podcast, you have podcasts as well. So these are things that enhance and help us to catch up, on dramas or programs. I think these are also some of the elements that media companies need to look at. But all in all, being a person who leads media in Asia Pacific, in Africa, I'm very confident that the medium is here to stay. And I'm a media lady, and I know as I travel, I'm meeting so many great people like you, creative, who are passionate about the industry. I think this is what ensures the success.
So like you said about the AIBD conferences that is being held, that is held every year, that you invite the authority of every concerned country.
So we have two conferences. We had a huge conference in Maldives. It's called the Asia Media Summit. And, you know, it's very interesting because people always ask whether summits are still relevant. You ask me whether radio and TV will be relevant. But let me tell you this, right? There are a lot of people who are coming up with new emerging technologies. And the Asia Media Summit provides the platform for people from the media and those who are creating content, those who are service providers, those who are making the new technologies. So it's a great marketplace, a meeting place for everyone. And so it's a great area where all the people from the different who make media work are present. So the Asia Media Summit, you know, sees more than 500 people, and we work very closely with the digital realm as well, and we talk about issues pertaining to media. So that is one place where everyone comes together, and we discuss topics like what you just asked me about. You know, is it relevant? What's happening? Is it changing? Everyone has that here, every country. So this is where we sit together and we talk about it. And we talk about how we can make media even more greater, right? And what are the things that media people can do. So this is where everyone comes on board. We have workshops, and then we bring in the new technologies that AI, you know, AI and whatever emerging technologies that is, for people to experience and to know. So it's a great learning curve. And this is what AIBD is doing. We're not just providing training programs, but we have a conference where we allow people to mingle. And we bring in the stakeholders, we bring in the ministers, we bring in high-profile leaders to come on board and to know and to showcase the strength of media. So that's one place where you can actually show people, look, this is media, and media is what's making all of us popular, because media has this power to amplify whatever is being done, and that's what the summit does. We're happy to host, together with ACORAP and with PSB, a fantastic general conference. Now, this is a lot smaller, but we are bringing together the leaders from Asia Pacific, all the CEOs, the bosses of radio and television, who will be present to share on the next journey of media for the next year, and the challenges they face and so forth. So Nepal is active with that, August 23rd to 26th, and we are going to showcase Nepal. We're going to show the beauty of Nepal, the people. I was just telling my colleagues, you know, I'm here for meeting after meeting, but what I would really like to do is to sit down and experience looking at the mountains, looking at people, you know, just walking around Tamil maybe, you know, just enjoying the country with a cup of coffee or tea and just sinking in the beauty of Nepal. And I think we want people to experience Nepal as well, because these are media people. They're coming here and they take back what they're seeing here in Nepal. And we want them to take back good memories, which people from your organization, ACORAP, and the government of Nepal is doing. So we're really grateful to all of you for bringing this program here, and we hope to do the best.
What is the program, upcoming program is going to dwell with in this theme?
So the general conference theme is AIBD 50 years and forward. So next year, AIBD will be 50 years. So, you know, countries like Nepal have been in the formation of AIBD. So we have 26 governments, and Nepal is one of it. So these 26 governments from SAARC, from Pacific, from Europe, France is a member as well, North Asia. So we have combined and created AIBD. And AIBD will be 50 years old next year. And it's very exciting because we're going to do our Asia Media Summit in Korea. And Korea is 100 years old of media. So it's a coincidence, but this is so important to celebrate, you know, the golden jubilee of, what do you call this, media, and show to the world. And whenever I travel anywhere, I will definitely meet some people who will say, Philo, I've been trained by AIBD. I'm an AIBD alumni. So, you know, this is something that we're very proud of. And we always welcome all our alumni to join us in whatever conferences that we host. So the conference in Nepal is a lot smaller. This is a meeting of heads of the media organizations. and we're going to discuss about the next path for media. So that's going to be the main mandate.
As we dealt with the various part of the broadcasting journey, from the leading broadcasting challenges and the way ahead, and AI-driven and technology-driven broadcastings as of now. So after all these interventions from the digital spectrum, so one thing journalists must know.
They must know how to tell a story, and they must know how to use technology, right? Because if you cannot be sitting there and saying, I'm from the old school, I don't think the old school exists anymore. So you got to be ready for change. You need to be accepting new changes. You need to evolve. So I think that's the greatest thing and a lesson for journalists. When I came into media, the systems they were just shifting. I saw the CD and I saw DAT tapes, and then over in television, we had different kind of tapes that we used. And later on, when I went into news, I was not using any kind of hardware. I was just doing everything on software. I do my own editing, so I learned how to use the system, and I wanted to learn it. I would not let my technical people do it. So I think that was one of my it's my passion, actually, because I'm basically a producer, and I've created so many content, and I love content production. So I think the biggest and most important need for you, if you're interested in a career in media, is to be creative, and to understand that you should use all technologies available. There is no such thing as I'm not going to change. If you're not going to change, you're going to be left out. So if you want to be in the game, you need to be able to accept all the new technologies, learn it, and it's technology. It's made by humans. So we as humans need to be able to conquer it and use it to the best of our ability. Yeah, so I think that's the answer for if you want to be relevant for the future.
Yes, and as a regional organization, AIBD has been doing promotions and everything it can, to push people, and also from all the broadcasters from the region to share their stories in one common platform, right?
Absolutely, that's what AIBD does. It's the Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development. We want to tell people what's new, what you can do, and how you can make radio and TV great, because you cannot say it's an old medium. Maybe the name radio is old, but in terms of music, that's not old, right? You've got a whole lot of new things coming up. So radio created stars. In Malaysia, we had many programs where radio created millionaires. They were actually selling stuff on radio, and the television is the same. And so I'm a die-hard media strategist, and I think that media is a fantastic tool, and if we know how to use it well, you're going to make it great. You're going to make the country great. You're going to make people great, and you're going to make yourself great. So the mandate of AIBD is to ensure that everyone knows the importance of media and how you can use it to the best of your ability. But learning the right tools, you need capacity building. You cannot become an overnight radio or TV producer, Of course, you have the experience, but I believe in training, because I myself, I received a lot of training, and that opened my eyes to new changes, adaptability. So I'm very lucky because I worked in Germany, I worked in Australia, I was with the BBC, and these things helped me to really grasp a lot about how media works. So if you look at Germany, way before, they were very advanced, And when I went back to Malaysia, it was quite tough. But I was seeing history repeating itself, like private radio was coming, and how ready were we for the challenge of private radio. So one thing it taught me was you need to be unique in whatever you do. So never, follow another station. You got to have your own unique identity, and I think that's what all radio and TV stations have to do. Create your own Nepal television identity, which you're proud of.
Despite all the challenges, adaptability is what we can do, changing, either be it changing the content or maybe how we produce ourselves before the audience. So how has the taste of the audience changed?
Audience taste has changed very rapidly because, a lot of things determine it. One of it is technology. So if you look at, probably your parents, those days, they were using a different kind of phone. Today, more and more older people hooked on their mobile, watching reels. And it's not so much the young ones, but older ones. So you can see that people are watching all these reels because they're very short stories, short attention span. But what is also happening is that people are not talking to one another because they're too consumed with the media. So that's also one thing. So we really have to look at creating content which is longer content, right? Like sometimes, maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes, because we lose our attention span. So this is one of the danger when we watch too much of short snippets, and it's not good for our children because we don't learn to listen or we don't learn to pay attention. We just have a very short memory span. So sometimes media contributes to that, especially these reels and short promos. They're not really good for us. It's fast, but it's not making us a good listener. It's not making us have good, effective communication skills. We just want to be fast. So it's like fast food. So again, this is something that we need to understand. So if you can create content which is good, people will watch it. At one time, people say, young people don't watch miniseries. They don't like to watch dramas. But today, if you look at all those series, right, they keep watching one after another, the episodes. And they do it because it's easily available. Like I can watch this episode, move on to the next one. I don't have to wait for 1 week to watch the next episode. So previously it was like that. So I think today people are more attuned to podcasts because it's like readily available on their fingertips. And I think this readily available on demand is what people like. So you got to cater for that need because society has become different. People are working, people are in a fast move. And so media has to adapt to that psychographics of the human change in humans and the demographic changes that come along with it. Yeah. So I think this is really a science. You have to study all this data before you create a content. Yeah.
So Ms. Philo, you've seen changes, various aspects of phases of changes in the media and technology. So how do you see this industry in the next 10 years?
Well, I'm sure new innovation and new things are coming up. Television might become more immersive, which means you can actually see somebody out here. You'll probably see me on your living room, not in a television box, but probably I'd be standing next to you, or it would be that kind of immersive technologies that are probably coming up that will shape media, television especially. Radio is a very intimate medium, so that is something which is very special. And, it caters to people, it keeps you happy when you're alone. You love to listen to music, you want to listen to someone talk, right? I come from the age of the golden voice, but today there's no more golden voice. Everyone is a radio announcer, if they can be funny or different voices. So it's really a special field, and humans have evolved. And the people who are manning radio and TV are humans. So we need to understand the needs and progress accordingly.
Ms. Philo, thank you very much for joining us here on our studio and sharing your valuable insights with us.
Thank you, Siksha. You've asked me some really great questions that are relevant. All the best to you and all the best to PSB Nepal. I think you've got a great team, and all the best success for you guys to come in time.
It has been a fascinating conversation on the future of journalism, the evolution of broadcasting, and the opportunities and responsibilities that come with artificial intelligence and a digital transformation. I am Siksha Bhattrai, and this has been NTV World Talk Show. We'll be back soon with more exclusive interviews and in-depth conversations. Until then, goodbye.
Bhutan has been a fantastic trip so far. People come here mainly for the main target species, and because birds are more easily seen.
Yungi khato ine training khandi gyamdi de otochi jinsomdi de najimbale dang miselde name sam phento yoro shin
In the valley nestled beneath the sky, where the snowy mountains reach high, the Sakteng Wildlife Sanctuary grows with life. The land of Yeti, as the people of Sakteng calls it, with tales and myths that flow through the unique culture of nomadic tribes in eastern Bhutan.
This part of Bhutan is the home to the Brokpa people, an ethnic minority of yak herders who migrated from southern Tibet in the 13th century.
The pastoral community was once home to a man with a dream. However, tragedy took place when the man was a victim of a fatal car accident. His death had a devastating effect on his family. His daughter, Ngawang Chensom, had to give up on her education. Her mother, Leki Dema, grieved and felt sad for the challenges she is facing.
Ama ngata ke olumba ke sam ke the rango ve intention ya lumbegi isu nal ham thosong dazine chige hab to me de nilam nala ma ton tanoi ne chige hab to me de the same me am.
Why do I care so much for this place? Why am I supposed to stay here? I don't know what exactly is waiting for me in this sanctuary. There must be a reason why I cannot bear to leave my village. I live in harmony with the land. A timeless rhythm so great, and my paths, although unknown, and a life without hindrance that I grew up. As I travel across this land, I see the beauty, the clean air, the majesty of nature so difficult to ignore.
Ni sa then lu khan gam de sing moto da ke na thukina or bethong sing dene besing shupsing de moto da ke thubina le yu thar ko gi am me lagang yu shen de inji da chi thon prugu me de mi chetu ka da me da ba tim de sim shon de yu gang yu de inji da chi de os nom so khal da os chogina.
Sakteng is a wild haven where red pandas, Himalayan black bear, snow leopard, and musk deer hide in the forests. This is a land of myths and mysteries intertwined in perfect harmony.
And my zone is, and then as we go higher up, we're going to get the trogopans and monals and blood pheasants. So it's people come here mainly for the main target species, and because birds are more easily seen in Bhutan than other parts, so Bhutan has got more charm to looking at the birds out here.
Rising in the early hours, my heavenly dream fades with the rising sun. Descending the stairs of my happy homestay, a familiar scene reminds me the wealth of our local handlooms. In a closet, hidden away, lies my collection. Colorful and cheerful memories of costumes ready to play.
Janmigi Tunbu Doxin, Piponigi, or Colomba Trip Japinas.
Drawn by the sounds of music, I like to see a group of women dancing to the rhythm of old songs. It made me feel lost in the pace and movement of the dance. Getting back on track, singing and dancing really brings the sense of togetherness and love for the traditions in my community. While walking in the peaceful village of Sakteng, I could not help but feel a sense of reverence in the air. Residents spoke about sacred religious sites dotting the landscape.
Crops struggled to survive in the mountains. Now, with the introduction of greenhouse, fresh vegetables are taking flight to serve visitors to Ngawang Chensom's homestay.
A few local delicacies in the local alcohol.
By adapting to the challenges of climate change and finding new ways to grow food sustainably, she contributes to securing a bright future for her community and the planet. All is well in the village of Sakteng, but with a growing population and increasing number of shops, the pressure on waste management becomes a challenge. Ngawang's decision to stay at home reflects the value of the preservation of cultural heritage and natural resources. By promoting sustainable tourism, we can make tourism work for everyone and appeal to future generations.
This is my first time visiting any Asian country. I'm very impressed with the beauty of Bhutan, the landscapes, the mountains, the valleys. The people have been very friendly, and the weather's been nice for us. Everything's just been lovely here.
Although they bid farewell to this beautiful song, we could see their emotions that they do not express or hide. Here, everyone's eyes are sparkling and glowing with happiness. These people, their culture and their environment have touched Ngawang's heart that she will never forget to go back to her village with hopes and aspirations.
People simply observe and take pride in artists and their promotion of Malaysian culture internationally. But nobody cares how they struggle just to survive and maintain their sanity. The waves of stress that are constantly present and how it impedes their creative minds. The life of an artist is like an uneven curve. It never moves smoothly through a straight line. As an artist herself, Shima tries to make her life easy and its journey smooth sailing in a straight line. But this does not happen. After graduating with a bachelor's degree in art and design with a major in pottery and ceramics in 1982, Shima started her own business. She did not only do batik paintings on fabric and other soft materials, but also took part in painting, designing and production of batik garments. All these activities did not make her happy and she could not sustain herself financially. Then she decided to concentrate on paintings.
Things that you can comfort with, you can live with it. Because for the beginners, they have to find things and it's not easy to get all the materials. So first, you have to survive. Second stage, after you survive, you want to find yourself. There's a long way until that you become famous because of something in the painting itself. So it's comfort because it comes like it's not a day or a month or a year. It's going to be continued maybe until you die.
Shima has been concentrating her creative works on paintings for nearly 2 decades. Her artworks mainly reflect traditional houses as imagery. She wants to spill the colors of her childhood experiences onto the canvas consciously.
This is from the experience before that you have. You see things, you see something that inspired you, that is the one that comfortable with, so that you just go on with that subject. Like a house is something that we experienced before. We live in those kind of houses, traditional, that which is in our childhood. We grown up there, and it's in the memory because we don't have it anymore.
Within the imagery of traditional houses, Shima does not only want to have nostalgic gratification, but also represent Malaysian multiculturalism in her paintings.
If you are Malay, there was the influences in the houses. If you are Indian, there were some images that shows. So this is what all about Malaysian multicultural. We have huge things to explore. It's something about our country. It's something about Malaysia in a way of you create it.
Devotion, patience, tolerance, commitment and inherent creative capacity are the fundamental qualities of an artist. Being an artist, Shima always feels the challenges of creating a new painting.
I think the challenge is the artist itself. How they going to create good work, good artwork that you can show that to the public. That is the most challenging, because whether the public can accept it or not, and you can think whether you can continue with this career or not.
Once the painting is completed, Shima has a happy moment. It is a kind of great winning.
Happy moment, you've been rewarded. You won something. You've been, like I said, rewarded means whether you winning some contest or you've been rewarded because of your artwork being chosen for some reason of, your painting was in that certain place, which is people are looking up at it.
Being an artist is not always good. On many occasions, Shima has had very bad experiences within her society.
At the first step, you've been ignored because they say that your artwork is not going anywhere. It's very disappointed.
Like Shima, 21 other artists have been working in the artist colony. The colony is a traditional village-based art center where artists from different fields and expertise do their works. There are 11 government-subsidized walk-ups, open-air wooden shelters built for artists within the craft complex in Kuala Lumpur. In the village, artists do not only create artworks, but also conduct various educational activities, such as teaching, training, and observational programs.
Yeah, that's how you get the color, okay? Wherever you do, you must.
Just a comment on my part.
Every artist working in this village has their own style and creativity. They have been working with different mediums, forms, and compositions. Their different artistic talents create their distinct identity. However, they have a common practice of promoting the Malaysian way of living and culture.
So I'm the one who did the painting about art, Malaysian naive art, to promote Malaysia, especially when the tourists come over here, what they can bring back to visit Malaysia while they are on tourism. So to present my country, so they know what is Malaysia they have.
My subject is more to flora and fauna, and this is, as you can see here, this is more to semi-abstract artwork, and I'm really concentrate on the texture series, and this is considered my latest series.
It's my painting normally my environment. Normally my family like this. This my family, my son, my daughter look together. The title is together. That's mean well, I create a watercolor on a theme of the mangrove swamps of Malaysia. I travel from north to south just to record all the pictures, all the picturesque view of the mangrove. And back at home, I'll record it on my paper with watercolor.
A lot of Malaysian artists, they use a lot of images from surrounding, like historical buildings, like the traditional costume, something like that. So I think that show that Malaysian art scene, they have their own style.
Artists have their own particular perspectives and viewpoints to observe the surroundings and lives. They are born with certain natural gifts and talents. They also develop exceptionally critical senses. They do recreation of the reality onto canvases. Their artworks are like mirrors that reflect different dimensions of local reality. The tourists, however, prefer local motifs in the artworks.
It's quite interesting to see some modern art. This complex is very interesting because there's a lot of different types of art and craft.
This is very different, and I particularly like her use of colours in the repeated motifs that she's got on display here.
I very like the Malaysian art because this one is very colorful and sketch also very beautiful.
Although the artists have been contributing a lot to promote the Malaysian culture internationally, they are under the wave of extreme stress. They have been struggling with hard times just to survive.
Not enough income to survive, to get the sourcing like selling the painting to make you alive. That is the most important in their mind. Besides, they want to produce a good work.
Audience has to have to appreciate Malaysian art more.
Di Malaysia ni dari segi pasaran mungkin belum luas. To survive as an artist is quite tough at the moment now. It depends on the how you tackle the customer and how they like it your painting or not. Is that the only way?
Struggle a lot to keep on survive and keep on doing your work, because many artists you can find they do halfway.
The major buyers of Malaysian artworks are foreign visitors. However, due to severe global economic recession, the official statistics of the Malaysian Tourism Ministry show that the inflow of foreign tourists are very unpredictable. This has immensely affected the sale of artwork. Artists have no choice but to bear the pain.
We have to think about to promote Malaysian art. Malaysian artists have to try to find the funding, so and from that way they can promote themselves. If we want to ask government to help us, in that way also can, but the government have a lot of things to think about, so artists should think their own way. I think like Malaysian government have to must start to collect artwork from the artists, like their government department. They have a lot of department. They have to start to buy artwork.
Artists like Shima are struggling against a dire situation to overcome. After investing their golden age in the field, artists are continuously creating their arts and seeking the support from society. Shima has taken these circumstances as a school of life. She has a strong commitment and beautiful dreams to be the best artist possible.
You have to sell the painting to survive, to get the money to buy the food or to pay any bills. But then when that problem is solved, or you get a way to solve the problem, I think it's going to be, you learn like in a school, but this is not a formal school. It's like a life school. I want to create something of your own brand, of your own mark in your country. You are not being comparing with other artists. That is the most that most artists wanted. But it's not going to be happen in one day.
Artists and artworks are an integral part of any society. Despite the extreme stress on their minds, they document the contemporary history of social reality. They also make many significant contributions to social transformation, critiquing evil elements and innovating new ideas. The life of an artist is never smooth like a straight line. However, one cannot imagine life without art.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced retaliatory tariffs on the United States after walking away from a bad deal on trade in a deepening rift between the longtime allies. Negotiations between the neighboring countries broke down on Friday in Washington, putting into force new 50% U.S. tariffs, impacting about $20 billion worth of goods, or 5.5% of Canadian exports to the United States. New Canadian tariffs will notably target the U.S. steel and dairy industries and take effect from 8th of September. Trump had previously said Washington should be able to have a deal with Canada, citing his good relationship with Carney.
I've dealt with the Prime Minister, have a good relationship, and yeah, we have to take care of our farmers. The farmers are very important to me, and the deal with Canada is moving along, and we should be able to have a deal with Canada. We're also starting on a new deal with Mexico. A much better deal for the United States. I only make good deals. Much better deal for the United States, both with Canada and Mexico.
But on Saturday, Canada's Prime Minister said Trump set conditions that were ultimately unacceptable, even though earlier talks had been positive.
We've consistently proposed long-term partnerships, while America has often pursued short-term transactions. The gap between partnership and competitor unfortunately has remained too wide in recent days. So last evening I instructed our negotiators to return to Ottawa. We cannot accept what they've offered, and we will not give what they've asked.
Carney added more details will come next week. The collapse comes after more than a year of on-again, off-again trade talks, which intensified in recent weeks after a U.S. imposed a deadline to strike a deal or face further tariffs. Ukraine marked National Flag Day in Kiev on Sunday, with President Volodymyr Zelensky and leaders from Nordic and Baltic countries attending ceremonies as the country prepared to celebrate its Independence Day. The blue and yellow Ukrainian flag was raised in the capital amid continuing war with Russia, which launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine more than 4 years ago. Zelensky described the national flag as a symbol of strength, resilience, freedom, and the victory of life, highlighting its significance to Ukrainians during the prolonged conflict. Norwegian Prime Minister, who joined the commemoration, said the raising of the Ukrainian flag during wartime represented both resistance and hope. National Flag Day is observed in Ukraine on August 23rd, one day before the Independence Day. The annual events have taken on added significance during the war as Ukrainian officials and international partners use the occasion to reaffirm the country's sovereignty, independence, and national identity. The participation of Nordic and Baltic leaders also underscored their continued political support for Ukraine as it faces the ongoing Russian invasion. Amid flames, thick haze, and teams of volunteers battling wildfires on Indonesia's island of Borneo, a teenager dressed as Superman joins the fight with a fire hose in hand. 17-year-old Rudiansa first became familiar with wildfire response as he accompanied his father, the head of a local volunteer firefighting group, to fight hot spots. One day, he spotted a Superman costume in his wardrobe and decided it would be fun to wear it while helping to extinguish the fires. Since then, the striking image of the teenage firefighter in a superhero outfit has drawn attention as communities struggle to contain the blazes. Indonesia is currently facing a wildfire and haze crisis. Nearly 95,000 hectares of land burned across the country in July alone, according to government data released this week. The area affected has already surpassed losses recorded during previous El Nino years in 2019 and 2023, although it remains below the devastating levels seen in 2015, when a particularly strong El Nino fueled one of the country's worst wildfire disasters.
Johannes Vermeer's Girl with a Pearl Earring is on display in Japan for 5 weeks as its permanent home in the Netherlands undergoes renovation. The painting has been loaned by the Moritzhaus Museum to the Nakanoshima Museum of Art in Osaka, marking its first international trip in more than a decade. Moritzhaus director Martin Gosselink said Japan was selected because of the country's strong interest in the Dutch masterpiece and the large number of Japanese visitors to the museum each year. The exhibition opened Friday and runs through September 27, giving visitors an opportunity to see one of the world's best-known paintings outside the Netherlands. An ultra-low-budget Chinese film Niolai has become a surprise hit among moviegoers in China, grossing more than $3 million US, despite being made for a reported budget of about $200 US. The film was made by a mother and son duo and has attracted widespread attention for its unusually low production costs and amateur style. Its popularity has grown through word of mouth and social media, with audiences drawn to the film's unconventional production and low-budget aesthetic. The film's success has turned the production into an unexpected box office phenomenon, highlighting how social media attention and audience interest can help small independent films reach a much wider audience. The success of Niolai also reflects growing interest among Chinese moviegoers in unconventional productions that differ from mainstream commercial releases. Hundreds of members of the Greek community return to the Turkish island of Gökçeada each August to mark the Feast of the Virgin Mary, reviving a long-standing religious and cultural tradition on an island that was once predominantly Greek. Gökçeada, known as Imbros in Greek, was home to a large Greek population before tensions between Greece and Turkey over the Cyprus conflict led to the departure of many residents from 1964 onward. Many former islanders moved to Athens and other parts of Greece, leaving behind homes, families, and communities. Decades later, former residents and their descendants are increasingly returning to Gökçeada for religious celebrations, family gatherings, and visits to their ancestral homes. The Feast of the Virgin Mary is one of the largest annual gatherings, bringing together hundreds of members of the Greek community from Greece and elsewhere. The annual return reflects the continuing ties between the Greek community and Gökçeada, despite the decades-long displacement that reshaped the island's population. For many former residents, the festival provides an opportunity to reconnect with their heritage, visit places associated with their families, and maintain traditions that survived after the community's mass departure.
Thousands of people have gathered in the northern Senegalese city of Saint Louis for traditional pirogue regattas, a centuries-old event rooted in the fishing community of Gatunda. The colorful boat races are more than a sporting competition, serving as a symbol of the city's maritime heritage and cultural identity. Fishermen and competitors take to the water in brightly painted wooden pirogues, continuing a tradition passed down through generations. The races feature teams of rowers battling for victory in a display of strength, coordination, and endurance. The event brings together generations of fishermen and residents, with younger participants learning the traditions from their elders. Beyond the competition, the regatta provides a rare opportunity for the fishing community to celebrate its shared heritage and strengthen local ties. Participants say the event is a way to honor their ancestors while keeping the community's seafaring traditions alive. The annual regatta also draws large crowds of residents and visitors, turning the waterfront into a celebration of St. Louis's long connection with the sea.
The final Kumbal Perahera of the historic Isala Perahera festival in Sri Lanka's Kandy is currently parading the streets of the city, with the sacred relic casket being carried by Sinharaja Tusker of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The majestic tusker is flanked by two other elephants of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Mia Raja and Pulatisi Raja. The Kumbal Perahera commenced its journey facing the north. It is scheduled to return to the Sri Dalada Maligawa later. The Peraheras of the four Mahadevalayas are also taking part in the procession, showcasing their traditional and religious features alongside the Kumbal Perahera. The final Kumbal Perahera precedes the Randoli Perahera, with the first Randoli procession scheduled to be held as part of the annual Isala Perahera celebrations in Sri Lanka.
Young Mexicans are taking part in a growing social media trend known as the Aura Battle, a competition in which participants use dance moves, poses, and meme-inspired gestures to demonstrate confidence and personality. The contest brings young people together to face off in short performances, with participants judged on their ability to project what organizers describe as aura, a combination of confidence, style, and presence. The trend has gained popularity among young people as social media platforms continue to turn online memes, gestures, and challenges into real-world events. 16-year-old Khaled Rosales Salazar won the latest competition, saying he focused on expressing himself rather than worrying about how others viewed him. For participants, the events offer a way to combine online culture with face-to-face competition, while giving young people a platform to express their individuality and confidence.
The second World Humanoid Robot Games has opened in Beijing, bringing more than 2,000 robots from 600 teams to compete in 51 events that push the limits of humanoid technology. During the opening ceremony, a humanoid robot recorded 9.39 seconds in the 100 meters, 0.19 seconds faster than Usain Bolt's 9.58-second human world record. This year's athletic competitions have introduced new high-intensity events including long jump, weightlifting, tug-of-war, and table tennis, all of which serve as ultimate test of a robot's brain, physical structure, and core components. The games also feature scenario-based competitions spanning 9 fields, including home services, hospitality, and logistics, demonstrating the application potential of humanoid robots in everyday production and life. Demonstrating the application potential of humanoid robots in everyday production and life. The first World Humanoid Robot Games had attracted 280 teams and over 500 humanoid robots from 16 countries. This year's event will run through August 26.
it's very amazing feeling because as Mr. Kiran Manandar is one of, I would love to say he is a global artist because he do have his studio. He used to have his studio in Paris and different places as well. And we are really lucky to have his studio here in Kathmandu Art House as well. And we have his studio upstairs where he come and create the things like create the paintings. And with his paintings, we feel very inspired and energetic. His painting is mostly spiritual and energetic too, as he take his painting as the part of his life and also a spiritual value to his painting.
It's my first time in Nepal. I've been seeing cultural sites around the city, and I'm extremely pleased that I came to visit this museum because this art is really amazing, and it's really beautiful to see sort of this modern expression of some of the historical cultural themes, and also like just some very human global themes as well. And I think the artist is just really incredible, and the art that I'm seeing here is really beautiful, and I'm very, very pleased, very happy.
So how did you feel to meet the real artist here?
It was really incredible. I feel so lucky that I came here today when the artist was here. It was beautiful to meet him. He's so friendly and warm. Yeah. Learning about the space was also really interesting. I hadn't known the history of this location. I think it's a great place for an art museum.
Oh, they feel very nice looking at the artworks because since we have here Kathmandu Art House, when people come in, and when they see the different category of the artists and all, and especially Mr. Kiran Manandar's work, they feel very like overwhelmed. Not only the overwhelmed, but they feel very good about how Nepali art is like that, because they get, most of the time they get surprised, I must say that, because they haven't actually seen the artwork of Nepali artists in that deeper level. But since Mr. Kiran Manandar is famous all over the place. So yeah, he's also the pioneer of the abstract art here in Nepal. So he has actually, and he's also the first chancellor of NAFA, which has actually created like new, the step in the Nepali art field, in Nepali art society, and he has contributed a lot here. So while we talk with the guest as well, they get very inspired from his work with the colors, that the flow of colors, the brush strokes that he have, and also the spiritual value when we talk about the artist and also his painting to artists. They feel it's actually a true modern Nepali art where there is actually the touch of traditional spirituality and also a modern touch.
My primary interest for people coming to Nepal like me, if I had a color problem, I would have gone to a small or big trekking earlier, looking at those small streams, the originality of those colors. And I would look at these old broken palaces or houses, these bamboos. Now, like I learned a lot in Balajo, and this color is still dyed with kaya. This original color is not ours, right? Now for us, for example, when I went to work in a museum in Japan earlier, I would take red soil, black soil, because that is new now, that pote even now. Sometimes when I paint on canvas, I remember my grandmother because at that time, painting with red soil was our own energy and no insects would be attracted to it. Therefore, to use our own, we have to go to the village, house, place, everywhere. We have to take it anywhere. Even now, I tell you that after crossing Balaju Pass, the air and water there will be different. That scent of the forest will come, and therefore, we are not without it either. To develop this, such museums are needed. Artists who include everyone like this are needed. Now it is very good. I would say that even now, the time is such that foreign artists should come to Nepal to learn. There is a scent of art here now. We were scared by the lakhe my maternal uncle sent us. My maternal uncle is from West Nuwakot. And so the lakhe had come. I asked why, and he said it was to roam around so high. And it looked red, and it was strong like you and me. And that's why, with that imagination, I had never met him. I used to play the instrument when I was a child, but in that imagination, scary and then walking. Our current Newari custom is that if some boys walk around a lot, they are said to be likely lucky. It came out of that imagination.
Kiran Manandar sir is a very fascinating person. I first met him in 2021. So in that time and till today, I kind of got a sense of his spiritual aspect a lot. Even though his artworks are abstract, you can identify each element. So in Kiran Manandar's paintings, even though it is an abstract art, each of us can identify ourselves. For example, in feminine beauty, we can identify a beautiful woman. In divine love, we can identify divine aspects of love. For example, Radha Krishna, Shiva Parvati, Vishnu and Lakshmi even. And in his spiritual series, for example, Shunya and Atma, we can identify the meditative aspect and the metaphysical aspect where we can achieve through divine interventions. And his artworks are mostly based on these spiritual factors also. And you can identify other materials. For example, he uses not only pen and ink, he uses materials like different clothes, which is written in Ranjana script. So there is Namo Tassa Bhagavato written in Ranjana script, and with that you can also see Kiran Manandar written in the same script. So that is basically his traditional route taking over in his abstract forms. And you can also identify the malas that you use in ritualistic activities, in pujas, and you can also see that aspects put together in the painting, and also the prayer flags of Buddha, the 5 Buddhas prayer flags. So all these materials are used by Kiran Manandar, and because of that we can say that he's a very spiritual person. And in his catalog, I have dissected and categorized these themes, thematical order in his painting. So I started with nature because he loves nature, and I remember him giving an example of a tree. So from afar, we can only see a tree, but if you look closer and you can see the branches, the leaves, the fruits, the roots, and everything. So his paintings are also layered like that, you know, the colors and bold strokes, like it's a palette knife that he uses, and that has a lot of strokes, lines, and even though it looks harsh when we look at it, but you can then deepen your thoughts and process, and you can see the color combinations and the beauty of the chaos that he creates in his paintings.
हामीले जति लोभ गर्यो त्यो चीजबाट सिर्जना कहिले पनि हुँदैन, हामीले त्याग्नै पर्छ।
Whatever we covet, creation never comes from that. We have to give it up. Therefore, I feel that we are born to live and give up, not to live forever. So, in this painting, there are these pieces of cloth attached to the paper. When I was strong, I used to go to Swayambhu. Then monkeys would throw down these flags. Initially, I made a lot of paintings using their flags. Because they were being thrown away, I brought them home, cleaned them, and gave them a complete form. Then where to keep them? I call the canvas my bank, so I keep it there. No one would take what was on the ground. But after putting it here, people covet it, they buy it. In this way, everything is to be given up. Even when painting and applying colors, it's the same. It's not meant to be kept forever, but to be given up. What is there to take? Therefore, the most important thing is whether you are painting or doing any other work. You should do it with a pure heart and then leave it behind. Nothing is to be taken away.
हाम्रो चाहिँ काम भनेको चाहिँ किरण दाई जस्तै चाहिँ आर्टिस्टहरुको चाहिँ
Mona's work involves organizing exhibition for artists like Kiran Dai to show their work to Nepalese and the rest of the world. Because there are artists like Nepalese in the world, we are no less than any other country, at least in the field of art.
Main reason why I opened the Museum of Nepali Art, which is Mona in short form, is to platform living Nepali artists. This is actually the first private museum in Nepal. And even after 1,000 years, but as long as there is humanity, as long as there is Nepal, as long as there is Nepal and art, we will be part of Kiran Dai. We need to ask questions. We need to ask questions to ourselves, not to anybody else. And that is the main purpose of art. And that is what I am trying to bring it out through my museum, through my passion, to the people, so that we can better understand ourselves, we can better appreciate our community, we can better appreciate our nation, and we can better appreciate the world that we live in.
Nepal, a land of unparalleled natural beauty and rich heritage. Tucked in the heart of Himalayas, this small yet mighty country is a living tapestry of religious, cultural and historical significance. The capital city of Kathmandu sits like a jewel at the crossroads of time, surrounded by towering peaks and the lush landscapes of Kathmandu Valley. The vibrant city is home to a unique blend of cultural families, each deeply rooted in the traditions that have shaped Nepal for centuries. Kathmandu is a city where history, religion, and art are not just preserved but actively celebrated. This city is also the proud home to 7 of the world's most significant cultural heritage sites, all of which are recognized by UNESCO. For centuries, the people of Nepal have dreamed of sharing their nation's unique story with the world. And Nepal and its people have captured the world's attention and admiration. It is a place that draws people from every corner of the globe, inspiring awe with its ancient temples, stunning architecture, and deeply rooted spiritual legacy. In 1989, UNESCO declared 3 historical zones in Kathmandu as World Heritage Sites, including 2 Buddhist stupas and 2 Hindu temples. One such remarkable site is the Hanuman Thoka Darbar Square, a historical treasure located in the heart of Kathmandu Valley. The legacy of ancient kings is written in every stone of this sacred ground. From the reign of King Ratna Malla to that of mighty King Bir Bikram, Hanuman Thoka has been a central figure in the cultural and political life of Nepal. Here, the temple of Taleju, Jagannath, Shiva Parvati, the massive Tulo Ghanta, Kal Bhairav Shrine, Maiju Devol, and the Kumari Kal are among the most important landmarks. The intricacy of the temples, the carvings, the statues, and the entire architectural composition bear witness to the authenticity and craftsmanship of Nepalese art. The preservation of these artifacts is crucial as many of them are unique to Nepal and cannot be found anywhere else in the world. Each day, hundreds of international tourists visit this place not only to witness its beauty, but also to learn about its cultural and historical significance. Many scholars and academics visit Kathmandu to study the profound artistic and architectural heritage found in the city. Another historical gem is the Patan Darbar Square, an ancient palace complex that dates back to Malla dynasty. Located in the city of Patan, which is also known as the City of Art, the square is a testament to the creativity and devotion of Malla kings. Built during the 17th and 18th centuries, Patan's magnificent temples and palaces were commissioned by King Siddhi Narsingh, King Srinivas, and King Yoganendra Malla, whose influence is still visible in the area's grand architecture. Some of Patan's most famous landmarks include Mool Chowk, Sundari Chowk, Bhimsen Mandir, Krishna Mandir, Taleju, and Kumbheshwar Mandir. Among these, Sundari Chowk is an attraction in itself, and nearby Tusa Hiti Dhara, a traditional water spout, adds an authentic touch to the cultural experience. The Krishna Mandir, built in the distinct Shikhara style, is another highlight. This temple is particularly famous for its stone carvings depicting scenes from the Ramayana and Mahabharata, an absolute visual feast for visitors. For centuries, Patan has stood as a symbol of artistic excellence.
The Rato Machinanath Jatra, a festival celebrated not only as the pride of Lalitpur, but also recognized globally for its cultural significance, had just concluded. This year, beginning on May 18, we launched a 40-day campaign showcasing the grandeur of the procession. The participation throughout the festival was truly encouraging. Last year, We welcomed around 200,000 visitors. This year, by mid-June alone, the footfall has already surpassed 225,000. This achievement fills us with immense pride, while also reminding us that there is still much more to accomplish. We currently offer a guided tour from Patan Dhoka to museum, completely free of cost, with the aim of establishing our heritage as a living part of our collective identity. Patan Museum has long been committed to safeguarding both the tangible and intangible cultural heritage of this region. It serves not only as a local exhibition space, but as a vital destination dedicated to preserving and celebrating the culture of this historic city. Our tangible inheritances, many of them dating back to the Lichavi era, stand as remarkable non-living heritage, while our festivals, rituals and processions embody the vibrancy of our living traditions. Both forms of heritage are invaluable to us. It is our responsibility to protect them, nurture them, and ensure they pass down to the future generations with the same reverence with which we receive them. International tourists travel to Nepal to experience the richness of our natural and cultural heritage. Our historical buildings, artifacts, sacred idols form an integral part of that experience. Many visitors take the time to explore, observe, and fully immerse themselves in the stories these treasures hold.
Established by the King Bardev, the city was originally known as Lalitpuri Adinath. It was not just the royal home, but the administrative heart of the region. The intricate woodwork, the timeless architecture, and the thriving cultural scene make Patan a perfect example of Nepal's historical richness. Bhaktapur, another ancient city, takes its place among the jewels of Nepal. Known for its stunning art, culture, and architecture, Bhaktapur is a city that has preserved its medieval charm. According to Gopal Ra's genealogy, the city was established by King Anandadev. The Bhaktapur Darbar Square is one of the most captivating sites, with attractions like Singhadwar, Swarnadwar, Chardham, and Nyatapol Mandir. Among these, the Pachpanna Jhale Darbar, or the palace with 55 windows, stands out as an iconic symbol of Bhaktapur's rich history. This palace, originally built during King Yakshamalla's reign and later reconstructed by King Bhupatendra in the 17th century, is one of the finest examples of the Malla period's architectural prowess. The art gallery within the palace is also a significant attraction for tourists and art lovers. The cultural heritage of Bhaktapur is alive and well.
Now we are in Bhaktapur and we are very surprised about the city. It's like incredible. Imagine that from how long this city has been with human beings and culture around. So we are very impressed. Probably one of the most beautiful cities that we ever seen. The construction, the architecture is very nice. The bricks, that is like all the city made from bricks and wood. And the people also is very happy, very friendly. You can move easily from anywhere because they have transport for everywhere. Take a long time to be in the roads because the roads are not so good, but you can do to any place. So it's very easy to move. It's very beautiful to see, and it's very satisfied for your heart. This kind of culture.
Bhaktapur, who is one of the most beautiful cities that I never seen before. It's a very ancient city. Some temples were constructed like in 12th century. So you feel like in other time, and you can walk a lot of days, and you can see the smile of the people, the street, this history. So we are very impressed and happy to came to this country. Every day I send pictures to them, to my family, and they are so impressive too. I think that this country is a very complete country to expand a holiday or a long trip, wherever you can do. You can be in different parts with different views and history and culture. So I invite to all you to come to Nepal and enjoy this beautiful place.
From the Kumars who craft their signature mud products to the intricate wooden crafts that define the city, Bhaktapur offers a window into traditional lifestyle of the Malla era. The famous black cap, Bhatgaule topi, worn by Nepali men, also originates here, a small yet meaningful piece of cultural pride. On the spiritual front, Pashupatinath Temple is one of the most revered religious sites in Nepal and across the Hindu world. The temple, built in pagoda style, stands as a beacon of faith for millions of Hindus worldwide. It is believed that a pilgrimage to Pashupatinath is equivalent to visiting 4 sacred dhams of India. Built by King Bhupatendra Malla, this temple serves as a center of worship for a diverse array of spiritual communities, including Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, and others. The Pashupatinath complex is rich with temples, shrines, and sacred sites, each one steeped in centuries of religious history. One of the most significant festivals here is Shivaratri, a grand celebration of Lord Shiva that attracts thousands of devotees from around the world. Every year, during the special month of Shravan, the temple hosts vibrant rituals and ceremonies, drawing pilgrims to witness these sacred observances. The surrounding Slaes-Mantak forest adds to the serene atmosphere of Pashupatinath. The temple's unique wooden structures, gilded pinnacles, and the bronze statue of Nandi at the entrance all contribute to the spiritual ambience. The daily evening lighting ceremony at the Pashupatinath is a tranquil and profound experience for both locals and international visitors alike. Swambhunath, also known as the Monkey Temple, is another spiritual landmark in Kathmandu. Perched atop the Padmakantagiri hill, this ancient stupa offers sweeping views of the entire valley. The temple is especially important for Buddhists who revere it as a place of profound spiritual significance. Legends say it was here that the Bipasri Buddha meditated, marking the beginning of Kathmandu Valley's spiritual foundation. Swambhunath's two all-seeing eyes, which watch over the valley, are a powerful symbol of justice and wisdom. Visitors who climb the 365 steps to reach the stupa are greeted not only by the temple's beauty, but by the entire history of Nepal, etched in every stone and statue. The region also houses a museum and a library, both offering further insight into Nepal's religious and cultural past. Equally impressive is the Bodhanath Stupa, one of the largest in South Asia. Built in the 5th century, the stupa is a testament to Nepal's enduring connection to Tibetan Buddhism. The legend surrounding Bodhanath's construction is as captivating as its physical presence. It is said that the king, upon being asked if the stupa could be built, mistakenly replied in the affirmative, leading to the creation of this sacred monument. Bodhanath has become a hub for the Tibetan Buddhist community, especially during Losar festival, celebrated by Sherpa people. Its significance stretches beyond Nepal, linking the country to broader Buddhist world. The Changunarayan temple, located on the outskirts of Bhaktapur, is another example of Nepal's ancient cultural heritage. Built in the 4th century BCE, it is one of the oldest Hindu temples in Kathmandu Valley. Its intricate woodwork, stunning carvings and inscriptions make it a true architectural marvel. Dedicated to Lord Vishnu, the temple is a site of pilgrimage for Hindus and is also renowned for its artistry and craftsmanship. Kathmandu's heritage is not just a relic of the past, it is a living, breathing part of the city's identity. Both the local government and the people of Nepal continue to prioritize the preservation and promotion of these ancient sites, welcoming visitors from around the world to to explore and appreciate the rich cultural and historical legacy of this beautiful land.
How many countries can you recognize by just looking at their flags? 20, 40, maybe 60. Today I'm joined by a young prodigy from Kathmandu, Nepal, who has far surpassed those numbers. At just 10 years old, Kripal Paudel secured his place in the World Book of Records by successfully identifying and reciting the flags of every country in the world in just 1 minute and 40 seconds. This historic feat was officially recorded on July 10, 2024. Kripal, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Are you excited for the interview?
Yes, I'm already excited for this interview.
We'll show you random 40 flags and you have to name them as fast as possible.
Canada, Morocco, Russia, Malaysia, Thailand, Ethiopia, Guatemala, Belgium, Dominican Republic, Switzerland, Lithuania, Iceland, Italy, Spain, Ecuador, Montenegro, Cuba, Rwanda, South Korea, Haiti, Chile, Bolivia, Luxembourg, Honduras, Venezuela, Bangladesh, Portugal, Estonia, Kenya, Vietnam, Belarus, Greece, Nicaragua, Uruguay, Colombia, Finland, Zimbabwe, Peru, Tunisia, Ireland, Netherlands, Kosovo.
So, Kripal, how do you memorize them? When you see a flag, do you see a picture or do you see the name of the country instantly in your head?
First of all, it's interest of any people. Like, I have an interest in geography. I read geography books and I know the flags of this country so well.
When did you first realize you had this superpower? And was it just a hobby or you had to memorize for school exams?
No, it was not to memorize for school exams. It was my hobby, and I have recognized it like for last 3 years, 4 years like that.
So walk us through your world record journey.
So it was amazing and wonderful. And throughout the journey, we introduced a form in the Worldwide Book of Records. And as the journey continues, we attended this record in my school, and we got that certificate and all that medals, etc.
How does it feel to represent Nepal on the global stage of the World Book of Records?
It was very proud to recognize my country, my motherland, Nepal, to recognize on the world's global. Yeah, it is so. It means that Nepalese people are also educated.
Now tell us more about yourself. Is it just flags or are you this fast with maths, history, dates or any other subjects?
Yeah, all subjects I got full marks in practical also, theory also. And all subjects I'm very good at, excellent at. But it's all about creativity of an normal people. Every people has an interest, and if they follow their interest, they will become success in the world.
Do you consider your talent as normal?
Yeah, it's normal for me. I don't know how other people will think about it.
Who is your biggest cheerleader?
My parents are my biggest cheerleaders. They support me in every way. They support me in every situation, and I'm very thankful to have parents like them.
Let's talk beyond your world record.
Yes.
Who is Kripal Paudel and what are your interests?
So, Kripal Paudel is basically a normal person. My hobbies are to study about geography, to study about politics, to study about news, climates, and beyond that studies, I also have interest in sports and other categories.
Okay, now let's talk about your future. You've already bagged the world record now. What's next?
After an attempt in Guinness Book of World Records, and I am doing 3D animation in Blender, 2D animation in After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro, and Illustrator also. And also, it's been great to do this.
You're interested in technology as well?
Yes. I didn't have a decision to become what in future.
Oh, you've not decided yet?
Yes. I'm so small too.
So when you think about you being an adult, what comes to your mind? What profession suits you?
I have been doing the 3D animation in the past like 1 year, and I'm doing a great job in 3D animation. So my interest is 3D animation also.
So outside of flags and studying, what is Krippal's favorite thing to do?
I want to socialize with my parents, and I want to travel also. I want to travel the world's countries.
Now, here's a fun segment. I'll ask you a question. You need to answer in one word, or you can just answer it in one sentence. Are you ready?
Yes.
The first question is, which one do you think is the coolest looking or has the best color or shape?
I'm not disrespecting every flags. They are all beautiful in their people's angles. But as being a Nepali flags is a different one from all the world's flag.
Which one was the hardest to memorize?
So probably the longer words flag, like it can be anything like Kyrgyzstan and maybe Uzbekistan. I saw many flags like Monaco and Indonesia. They are same. Indonesia and Poland are also same. Ireland and Cote d'Ivoire, they are also similar.
Is there a country you want to visit just because its flag is cool?
The coolest one I want to go to is Switzerland, maybe.
Switzerland, just because its flag is beautiful?
Yes.
Are you interested in just countries or the cities as well?
As learning geography, cities are also important to learn, and I am learning about cities as well as the states as well.
Do you ever see flags in your dreams?
I haven't seen a flag in my dream.
Now we've come to the end of the show. Do you have anything that you want to share with your audience?
I'm very grateful to my parents and thankful to my parents. And also I learned 3D animation in Pixel Media, which is a company that provides you to how to learn about 3D animation, 2D animation. And I want to thank to all the members of the NTV World to giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
10 arrested over killing of 3-year-old girl in Bara of southern Nepal. Lawmakers demand probe over leaked statement of the accused. Political uncertainty and frequent leadership change grip Nepal's provincial governments. Bagmati reschedules floor test for tomorrow. Government's push to connect entire country with telecommunication services materializing. 4G internet launched in Badimalika. AIBD 24th General Conference kicks off in Kathmandu. Broadcasters discuss AI and digital transformation. China and India set to hold border talks in Beijing tomorrow. Ajit Doval to lead the Indian delegation. And Nepal defeats Hobart Hurricanes in top-end T20 series being held in Australia. Wins by 39 runs. Good evening, I'm Bijata Bhandari and you're watching NTV World News Hour, coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours Nepal time. Now the news in detail. Nepal police have arrested 10 individuals, including a police head constable, in connection with the rape and murder of 3-year-old Garima Chaudhary in Simara of Bara in southern Nepal. Police head constable Kumar Bika was arrested for allegedly helping leak the sensitive video. The investigation came under scrutiny after a video showing the statement of a 16-year-old suspect was leaked on social media. The suspect has reportedly confessed to his involvement, while police say 9 others have also been arrested in connection with the murder. Meanwhile, lawmakers have demanded a probe into the leaked statement and handling of the investigation. They have also drawn the government's attention to making the legal system stricter and ensuring harsh punishment for offenders to end violence against women. Political uncertainty continues across Nepal's provincial governments, with coalition disputes affecting government formation and confidence votes. In Bagmati, Chief Minister Kiran Thapa Magar's floor test has been rescheduled for tomorrow amid disagreements within the ruling coalition over ministerial appointments and power sharing. A court case challenging his appointment has also added to the uncertainty. In Karnali, internal disputes have postponed the swearing-in of new ministers until August 27. Meanwhile, Koshi Chief Minister Hikmat Kumar Karki secured a confidence vote, his third in the same term. Whereas in Lumbini, 3 new ministers were appointed in a cabinet reshuffle, reflecting ongoing efforts by parties to manage power-sharing arrangements. We will take a closer look at the frequent leadership changes in Nepal's provincial governments in the Issue of the Day segment later in the bulletin. Next, Nepal's state-owned telecommunication service provider Nepal Telecom has expanded 4G services to Badimalika in Bajra, western Nepal, bringing mobile and internet connectivity to the remote religious and tourist destination. The expansion comes as the government pushes to strengthen digital connectivity and telecommunications infrastructure under its broader Digital Nepal campaign. The government has prioritized extending 4G services to remote, rural and tourist areas while improving network quality and access to digital services. Nepal Telecom added it has initiated work to construct around 1,600 new mobile towers and related sites nationwide to expand coverage and improve the connectivity. We shall have more on this in our segment cover story later in the bulletin. Now, in other update, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval will hold the 25th round of special representatives talks on the China-India boundary issue in Beijing tomorrow. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said the two sides will hold in-depth discussions on the boundary question and work to maintain peace and stability along the border. The talks will also cover bilateral relations and international and regional issues, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Nepal has registered its first win in the top-end T20 series underway in Australia, defeating Hobart Hurricanes Academy by 39 runs. After being invited to bat first, Nepal posted 154 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in 20 overs, settling the Hurricanes Academy a target of 155 runs. In reply, Hobart Hurricanes managed 115 runs in 18.3 overs, handing Nepal a comfortable 39-run victory. The result gives Nepal A its first victory of the tournament after an earlier defeat to NT Strike. The 2026 top-end T20 series features international and Australian domestic teams, including Nepal A, Bangladesh High Performance, New Zealand A, Hobart Hurricanes Academy, and other Australian sides. Now, coming up next, whether it's the floor test of Chief Minister in Bagmati Province or internal disputes surrounding new ministers in Karnali Province, we take a closer look at the political uncertainty and frequent leadership changes in Nepal's provincial governments in our Issue of the Day segment after the short break. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World News Hour. And now on to our Issue of the Day segment. The Bagmati Province Assembly meeting scheduled today has been postponed for 4 p.m. tomorrow, delaying Chief Minister Kiran Thapa Magar's planned vote of confidence. Assembly Secretary Ram Kumar Paudel said the meeting was rescheduled under Rule 6.3 of the Provincial Assembly Rules 2017. The session was initially called for 1 p.m. and was repeatedly postponed to 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. amid disputes within the ruling Nepali Communist Party and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party over government support and power sharing. The Chief Minister's confidence vote is expected to take place during Tuesday's session. Nepal's provincial governments are facing political hurdles, with Koshi Chief Minister Hikmat Kumar Karki securing a confidence vote, while the process remains uncertain in Bagmati and the swearing-in of new ministers in Karnali has been postponed. Sarah Sapsamanama Rai looks deeper in our next story.
Political developments across Nepal's provinces continue to be shaped by coalition dynamics and internal party disputes. In Karnali province, the swearing-in of new ministers scheduled for today has been postponed at the last minute. The delay comes amid growing factionalism within ruling CPN-UML and intense competition among ministerial aspirants. Chief Minister Mangal Bahadur Shahi, who has been in office for 4 weeks, has postponed the cabinet expansion until 27 August, citing difficulties in reaching an agreement on ministerial appointments. Meanwhile, in Koshi province, Chief Minister Hikmat Kumar Karki has secured a vote of confidence from the Provincial Assembly. Appointed under Article 168, subsection 5 of the Constitution, Karki had to seek a confidence vote for the third time during the same tenure, reflecting frequent changes in coalition politics. In Lumini province, the government has appointed 3 new ministers as part of a cabinet reshuffle. Dipendra Kumar Pun has been given the Health Ministry, Indrajit Tharu the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Planning, and Krishna Kushma Tharu the Ministry of Agriculture, Land Management and Cooperatives. Several existing ministers have also been assigned to different portfolios. The reshuffle follows an agreement to maintain representation of CPN-UML and Janata Samajwadi Party, among others, in the provincial cabinet. The new ministers are scheduled to take their oath of office tomorrow at the provincial chief's office in Butwal.
In this context, we asked the general public what they think about the frequent changes in provincial governments. Let's hear what they have to say in today's Public Pulse.
3 महिनामा जुन मन्त्रीमण्डल चेन्ज भइराछ यिनीहरूले मन्त्रीमण्डल चेन्ज मात्र गर्ने कि काम गरेर पनि देखाउने हो
यो प्रदेशको आफ्नो स्वायत्त अधिकारको रूपमा यो प्रदेशले आफ्नो त्यहाँको वस्तुस्थिति अनुसार त्यहाँको परिवेश अनुसार त्यहाँ विद्यमान गठबन्धनको जुन सरकार छ त्यो नै रहिरहन सक्ने सम्भावना छ भने त्यो नै रहिराख्नु पर्ने त्यसलाई नै निरन्तरता दिनुपर्ने हो
विकासका कुरादेखि लिएर विभिन्न कार्यनीतिका कुरादेखि लिएर गएर चाहिँ विभिन्न विकासका योजनाहरू चाहिँ यो अप्ठ्यारा र परिस्थिति फरक ढंगले अगाडि बढेको देखिन्छ
त्यसैले कुनै पनि पार्टी अथवा कुनै पनि व्यक्ति भन्दा पनि जो आउनु भए पनि अलिकति ढिलो रहेर अलिक विकासमा चाहिँ राम्रो सहयोग गरिदिनु भयो भए हाम्रो परिस्थितिमा पनि एकदमै अरूभन्दा सबल पनि हुन्थ्यो
जुन गतिमा एउटा मुख्यमन्त्रीले आफ्नो एउटा योजना बनाएर पञ्चवर्षीय योजना बनाएर आफ्नो आफ्नो कार्यकालभित्र योजना बनाएको त्यो योजना चाहिँ बीचमै नै रोकिन्छ र जनताका कामहरू पनि रोकिन्छन्
यो प्रदेश विकास हुन्छ भने जुन उद्देश्यले चाहिँ जनताले एउटा भोट दिएको यहाँको जनप्रतिनिधिहरूलाई त्यो प्रदेशको त्यसको एकदम त्यो तपाईँको अन्याय भएको मलाई महसुस भएको छ
अस्थिरताले पनि एउटा कमजोर अर्थतन्त्रलाई निम्त्याउँछ र देशलाई पनि कमजोर पार्छ स्थिर सरकार र राम्रो नीति र समन्वयसँगै हामी अगाडि बढ्नु अति आवश्यक देखिन्छ
एकात्मक टाइपको नै सङ्घीय हाम्रा पार्टीहरूको विधान भएको हुनाले त्यसको असर चाहिँ पर्ने नै हुँदा अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ के भने हाम्रो पार्टीको विधान र क्रियाकलापहरू एक ढङ्गले एकात्मक नै छन् पूर्णत एकात्मक त होइन तर आंशिक रूपमा सङ्घात्मक भए तापनि एकात्मक छ तर यसलाई चाहिँ वास्तवमा जस्तो यसपालि घटना पनि प्रदेशको आवश्यकता अनुसार तीका दलले निर्णय गरेर समीकरण बनाउन भन्न पनि सकिन्थ्यो त्यसो भने पनि केही बिग्रिँदैन थियो
सहमति भएअनुसार अब हामी त सबै दलहरू त केन्द्रीयमा त अतै चल्छौँ त्यो भएकोले चाहिँ पार्टीका च्यानल जुन हाम्रो प्रक्रियागत छन् यी त मान्नै पर्यो तर पनि प्रदेशलाई छुट्टै स्वायत्तता दिँदा पनि हुने हो त्यो पनि लाग्छ तर पनि अब माथि हामी सबै च्यानल बाहिर नै चलिरहेको हुनाले अब त्यो त मान्नै पर्यो
And that wraps up our Issue of the Day segment. Coming up next, from extending Nepal's 4G services in religious and tourist destinations in Bajura of Western Nepal to the latest decisions for establishing Software Development and Operations Center to manage digital systems used by Nepal's public agencies. We explore more of this in our cover story segment after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching NTV World News Hour. And now on to our cover story segment. Nepal's government is set to establish a software development and operations center to develop, upgrade and maintain digital systems used by public agencies. The center is intended to expand technology-based public service delivery and reduce reliance on fragmented software systems across government institutions. The Cabinet approved the Software Development and Operations Committee Formation Order 2083 on August 19 this year, paving the way for the center's establishment. A 6-member committee chaired by a secretary overseeing the governance affairs at Nepal's Office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers will oversee its policies, programs and operations. The center will be led by an executive director and will have 30 staff, including senior government officials from different services. Up next, high-speed 4G internet service is becoming a reality in Nepal's far-flung areas, with Nepal Telecom launching services in the remotest of areas. In line with the government's aim of ensuring easy access to communication across all regions, telephone and internet services have been expanded in the remote Himalayan areas. A few days ago, Nepal Telecom launched 4G service in Hat Sinja, Jumla, and on Monday, telephone and internet services were introduced in Badimalika, Bajura. Here's a report.
Centering at the culturally, religiously and touristically significant Badimalika Fair, the government has launched high-speed internet and telecommunication services at the remote place. Nepal Telecom's 4G expansion, mobile and internet services officially came into operation in Badimalika from Monday. More than 50,000 visitors from across the country are expected to attend the fair during Janai Purnima. At an altitude of about 4,200 meters above sea level, the service was virtually inaugurated by Minister for Information and Communication, Dr. Bikram Timelsena. Minister Timelsena emphasized that the government is marking this year as one of unprecedented reforms and digital transformation in telecommunications, ensuring that no citizen is deprived of communication services due to geographical remoteness.
Nepal सरकारको निकै ठूलो प्राथमिकतामा रहेको डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनलाई पूरा गर्नको लागि नेपाल टेलिकम र सँगै अरु प्रोभाइडरहरूले पनि निकै गम्भीरताका साथ काम गरिरहेका छन्। गएका केही साताहरूमा नेपाल टेलिकमले ताप्लेजुङ, डोल्पा जस्ता विकट क्षेत्रहरूमा आफ्नो सेवा विस्तार गरिरहेको छ र पछिल्लो चरणमा एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण ठाउँमा चाहिँ आफ्नो टावर स्थापना गरिसकेको छ र त्यसको औपचारिक सुरुवात चाहिँ हामी आज गर्दै छौं।
In a live video call with Nepal Telecom technicians deployed in Badimalika to install towers, Minister Timelsena discussed the operational status and challenges. Nepal Telecom's Managing Director Sangeeta Pahari said alongside expanding service coverage, efforts are underway to improve quality.
हाम्रो डेस्टिनेसन एउटै थियो, त्यसैले हामी सफल भयौं हजुर। यसमा चाहिँ हामी यस्तै साथ सहयोग भयो भने हामी धेरै गर्न सक्छौं।
For a month, tower expansion was carried out with active support from Nepal Telecom with equipment transported by army helicopters. Earlier, the government recently had introduced 4G service in Hat Sinja Jumla, considered the origin of the Nepali language. Similarly, studies are underway to expand 4G service at Everest Base Camp. With service expansion in high Himalayan and remote areas, communication is expected to become easier for locals, tourists, pilgrims, and security and rescue agencies. The government has also identified other remote regions with weak communication access and plans to gradually expand services there. According to Nepal Telecom, construction of around 1,600 new mobile towers and related sites is currently underway nationwide to enhance coverage and quality of telecommunication services.
And that wraps up our cover story segment. Now we check the remaining updates. The 24th General Assembly of the Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development AIBD has begun in Kathmandu. The three-day event is being attended by heads of various broadcasting organizations and professional broadcasters from more than 40 countries across the Asia Pacific region. Speaking at the opening session, Public Service Broadcasting Nepal Acting Chairperson Urvashi Basnet said the gathering will strengthen cooperation and help shape the future of media in a changing environment. AIBD, an organization with more than 50 years of experience in the broadcasting sector, will also hold in-depth discussions on digital transformation in broadcasting and the use of artificial intelligence in journalism and content delivery.
Media world is changing quickly, so we need strong cooperation in technology training, new ideas, content and public service media. We also need to work together during disaster and emergencies. At such times, trust broadcasting can provide people with information that they need.
Nepal's government has formed a special task force to address the demands of families of people killed or injured during the last year's Gen Z movement. A meeting chaired by Home Minister Sudan Gurung in Kathmandu reviewed the implementation of a 10-point agreement approved by the Cabinet in December 2025 and a 24-point proposal approved in July of 2026. The government has assigned an existing facilitation committee under the Office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers to function as a dedicated task force for Gen Z-related issues. The demands under discussion include establishing a Gen Z Council, declaring a National Gen Z Martyrs Day, recognizing Daulat Thapa as a living martyr, and revising the 24-point proposal. There were also discussions about building a Gen Z memorial in the Federal Parliament complex and establishing a Gen Z park, according to Nepal's Home Ministry. Now, in other update, Nepal's Information and Communications Minister Dr. Bikram Tamil Sinha has said that the government is working to improve the entire advertising cycle to make Nepal's advertising market clean, transparent, competitive and professional. During a meeting today with office bearers of the National Advertising Association Nepal, Minister Dr. Tamil Sinha said the government has taken seriously the issue of financial irregularities previously reported in the distribution of government advertisements. He emphasized that all stakeholders involved in the advertising cycle must carry out their responsibilities in a transparent and professional manner to prevent such problems from recurring in the distribution of government advertisements. The National Advertising Association Nepal raised concerns about market challenges, agency issues, and legal and policy matters. Meanwhile, Nepal's Finance Minister Dr. Swarnim Wagle has said that if the rules about the disqualification of directors of banks and financial institutions are kept only in the Nepal Rashtra Bank Act, it would create a legal contradiction. So there should be clear provisions about the matter in the Bank and Financial Institution Act or BAFIA itself. During the clause-wise discussions on the Nepal Rashtra Bank Third Amendment Bill, in today's meeting of the Finance Committee, the House of Representatives Finance Minister Wagle mentioned that the related issues should be addressed in the relevant act itself.
नेपाल ऐन संशोधन गर्न बनेको विधेयकमा बाफियाको 18(1) मा यो संशोधन गर्ने भनेर हामीले पठाइसकेका छौं। अर्थ मन्त्रालयले कानुन मन्त्रालयलाई पठाइसकेका छ। त्यसैले जहाँ एड्रेस गर्नुपर्ने हो त्यही गरौं। यो राष्ट्र बैंक ऐनमा गर्दा पनि यो अपुरो हुने भए र अन्ततगत फेरि यो गर्नुपर्ने भएर सिधै यो ठाउँमा जाँदा हुन्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ। यद्यपि अलिकति समय लिएर एटलिस्ट 24 घण्टा समय लिएर हामी थप स्पष्ट बनाऊ यसमा।
One of Nepal's leading commercial banks, Rashtriya Banijya Bank, recorded more than 60% increment in profit in the last fiscal year, from earlier years a 2.83 billion profit to over 4.55 billion in the last fiscal year. The state-owned bank is serving to over 4 million customers across the country. More on this by Diksha Awasthi with Pawan Barsha Shah.
With growing digitization in finance and banking sectors, more people are looking for services that are digital and also user-friendly. State-owned Rashtriya Banijya Bank has become the choice of many, with over 2.08 million customers using the bank's mobile banking services. Similarly, the bank has 911,358 debit card users and 2,612 credit card users. headquarters. The bank said it is working to strengthen its technological infrastructure to make digital banking services more secure, reliable, and trustworthy. It has also been conducting financial and digital literacy programs across the country to minimize risks associated with technology-based financial services and promote awareness about digital security.
महत्त्वपूर्ण कुरा के छ भने व्यक्तिहरू जो कारोबार गर्नुहुन्छ, जो खाता छ हामीसँग सबै बैंक तथा वित्तीय संस्थामा, उहाँहरू चाहिँ आफू सजग हुन एकदम जरुरी छ। यो मेरो कारोबार जेन्युन हो, जोसँग गर्न लागिरहेको छु त्यो कारोबार चाहिँ उले मागेको डेटा दिन जरुरी हो कि होइन, किनभने बैंकमा लिएर राखेको पैसा भनेको एकदम सुरक्षित हिसाबमा राखेको पैसा हो। त्यसै सुरक्षित हिसाबमा राखेको पैसालाई कसैले म तपाईको केवाइसी दिन भर्नलाई यो विवरण दिनुस्, तपाईको पासवर्ड दिनुस्, त्यहाँ जुन ओटीपी आउँछ त्यो पासवर्ड दिनुस् भन्दा त्यसरी दिनु हुँदैन।
The bank's net interest income also increased significantly in fiscal year 2025-26. The bank's operating income increased by 14.19% to 15.05 billion rupees compared to 13.18 billion in the previous fiscal year. The bank's total deposits reached 686.13 billion rupees while net loans stood at 340.33 billion rupees. Compared to the same period of the previous fiscal year, deposits increased by 37.11% and loan disbursement grew by 12.50%. The bank said the encouraging growth in lending and income contributed significantly to the increase in its net profit.
राष्ट्रिय वाणिज्य बैंकले कति ठाउँमा त सरकारको उपस्थिति कही पनि काम गरिरहेका छौं हामीले र हाम्रो लक्ष्य चाहिँ यहाँ आर्थिक गतिविधिलाई बढाउने, उत्पादनलाई बढाउने, हामीले रोजगारीका अवसरहरू बढाउने र यही देशमा केही गर्नुपर्छ र हामी यही देशमा गरेरै यो देशलाई चाहिँ उन्नति बनाउन सकिन्छ भन्ने काममा हामी लाग्नुपर्छ भनेर यहाँका सबै जति साथीभाइ हाम्रो कर्मचारी साथीहरू हुनुहुन्छ उहाँलाई मैले त्यो कुराको एउटा प्रतिबद्धता पनि गराएको छु।
The bank has also been conducting various social initiatives and investment promotion programs. It has been investing in concessional loans provided by the government for young and women entrepreneurs as well as in educational loans.
The group, led by former Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba, has filed a supplementary petition at the Supreme Court today, seeking to stop the party's 15th General Convention. The Supreme Court stated that separate supplementary petitions were filed on behalf of former party president Sher Bahadur Deuba and Purna Bahadur Kharga. The supplementary petitions are currently under review and they are expected to be formally registered tomorrow, according to Arjun Prasad Koirala, spokesperson and joint registrar of the Supreme Court. Earlier, the writ petition submitted to the Supreme Court on Friday had been withdrawn for corrections. The writ petition filed by the faction opposing the current party leadership seeks to halt the schedule announced by the Nepali Congress for holding its General Convention in October. The Nagtunga Tunnel Road, Nepal's modern road tunnel, has been opened to the general public, easing travel through one of the country's busiest road corridors, linking the federal capital Kathmandu with western Nepal. The tunnel, located on the Kathmandu-Nobisi highway west of Kathmandu, was previously accessible only to emergency service vehicles. But from today onwards, cars, jeeps and other four-wheelers can use the tunnel between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. under one-way traffic. Vehicles carrying highly flammable materials and two-wheelers are barred from entering, while larger vehicles will be allowed after the trial period. The tunnel is currently free to use with no toll charge, with two-way traffic expected to begin gradually within the next 1 or 2 days, depending on the traffic conditions. Bardia National Park in western Nepal has captured 2 problem tigers within a week after they entered villages in the park's buffer zone, killed livestock and raised concerns for the local residents. The latest tiger was tranquilized and captured this afternoon in Gola village of Gerua Rural Municipality in Bardia district by a joint technical team from the National Park and the National Trust for Nature Conservation. Tigers are referred to as problem tigers when a lack of prey causes them to venture out, eat livestock and attack humans. The 2 tigers now have been transferred to a rescue center in the Ramapur sector of Bardia, where 7 problem tigers are currently being kept in captivity. Officials say keeping the tigers in captivity is costly, with each animal requiring food worth more than 500,000 rupees a year. Time to check updates from the international front, but before that, let's have a recap of the headlines. Ten arrested over killing of 3-year-old girl in Bara of southern Nepal. Lawmakers demand probe over leaked statement of the accused. Political uncertainty and frequent leadership change grip Nepal's provincial governments. Bagmati reschedules floor test for tomorrow. Government's push to connect entire country with telecommunications services materializing. 4G internet launched in Barimalika. AIBD's 24th General Conference kicks off in Kathmandu. Broadcasters discuss AI and digital transformation. China and India set to hold border talks in Beijing tomorrow. Ajit Doval to lead the Indian delegation. And Nepal defeats Hobart Hurricanes in top and T20 series being held in Australia. Wins by 39 runs. Ukraine and its allies in the coalition of the willing have called for faster deliveries of air defense systems and increased pressure on Russia during a summit in Kyiv. On Ukraine's 35th Independence Day, President Volodymyr Zelensky urged allies to ensure a winter package of air defense, including Patriot missiles, as Russian ballistic missile attacks continue.
Russia continues its attacks and ballistic missiles. Yesterday we spoke about it with details. Today we will continue, and so we need to make sure that the winter package of air defense will be in Ukraine, and we need winter package of Patriot missiles, and it's
Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said the country is facing a full-scale economic, military and security war as tougher U.S. sanctions on Tehran are set to come into force later today. U.S. President Donald Trump last week announced a new campaign to increase the pressure on the Iranian economy, calling it the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country.
در عرض ایران ونزوئلا خواهد شد. نه تنها نشد، بلکه قدرتی شد که دنیا در مقابل این ایستادگی، همبستگی و انسجام حیرت کرد. ما در جنگ تمام عیار اقتصادی، نظامی و امنیتی قرار گرفتیم. خیلی راحت میگه که ما کوبنده ترین و یا وحشتناک ترین تحریم رو داریم بر ایران اعمال میکنیم و ما ایستادیم و داریم تلاش میکنیم که در مقابل این جنگ نابرابر بتونیم خدمتگزار مردممون باشیم.
New Zealand's government has introduced legislation to ban under-16s from using social media, joining a number of countries seeking to keep youngsters off sites such as Instagram and TikTok. Australia implemented world-first legislation banning children from social media in December, with the UK, France and others following suit.
Look, today our government is taking action to get children under the age of 16 off social media. And I think of the mums and dads right across this country who feel powerless, who feel like they simply cannot compete with an algorithm that has been designed to keep their children scrolling. And they're not imagining it. 1 in 3 of our teenagers now spends 5 hours or more a day on social media.
China has activated emergency measures as typhoons Sodal, Nara and Ganeri brought heavy rain and strong winds to eastern and southern coastal regions. The three storms, the 18th, 19th and 20th typhoons of the season, are expected to affect large parts of the country over the coming days, according to the Central Meteorological Observatory, CMA. Typhoon Nara is affecting Guangxi, Guangdong and Hainan, while Ganeri is forecast to bring torrential rain to Fujian, Zhejiang and Guangdong. Heavy rainfall is also expected in parts of northeastern China and Inner Mongolia. In other news, Russia launched a Soyuz 2.1B carrier rocket from the Plesets Cosmodrome in western Russia, according to the state space agency Roscosmos. The rocket successfully placed a military spacecraft into orbit, according to Roscosmos, which did not disclose details about the satellite or its mission. The launch highlights Russia's continued use of the Plesets facility for military and government space missions. About 2,000 people in the western Japanese prefecture of Nara have competed in a goldfish scooping contest. Goldfish scooping is one of Japan's traditional summer pastimes. The participants gathered around water-filled tubs that each contained roughly 1,000 goldfish. They had 3 minutes to scoop up as many of them as possible. The contestants used a scooping tool called a poi, which is covered with a thin sheet of paper. Business news lined up next. For now, a short breather.
Global oil prices slipped more than $1 a barrel on Monday as investors took profits after recent gains and awaited details of expected new U.S. sanctions on Iran, which could further disrupt supplies from the Middle East. Brent crude futures are down $1.55 or 1.64% to $92.84, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $85.02 a barrel, down $2.04 or 2.34%. Both contracts posted a second consecutive weekly gain last week, rising more than 5% as peace negotiations between the U.S. and Iran stalled, constraining oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, a route that once carried a fifth of global supplies. Minimalistic door handles became a signature feature of electric vehicles, but the controversial designs are now at the center of China's biggest car recall, affecting more than 4 million vehicles. The recall, which includes 2.98 million Chinese-made Teslas, follows safety concerns that the hidden door handles are difficult to locate and open in emergency situations. Other brands affected by the recall include Chinese car makers XPeng and Xiaomi. The recalled vehicles will have a warning label stuck on the interior door and receive a software update to automatically lower the windows in a crash. The Maldives and Tuvalu have called for a stronger climate finance and international funding mechanisms to support the economic resilience and sustainable development of small island developing states (SIDS). The issue was discussed on the sidelines of the SIDS Global Business Network Forum 2026 and Island Investment Forum in the Maldives. The talks focused on limited access to financing, rising environmental pressures, and the need for investment frameworks that reflect the economic conditions of small island economies. The forum, being held from August 23 to 25, brings together governments, businesses, and development organizations to explore investment opportunities and partnerships aimed at supporting sustainable growth across the island economies. Fast fashion giant Shein could see its stock market valuation reach almost $27 billion when it makes its debut in Hong Kong on 1st of September. The long-awaited move comes after failed attempts to list in the US and London due to the regulatory challenges amid scrutiny of the company, which has its headquarters in Singapore but was founded in China. The e-commerce giant is known for selling ultra-cheap clothes backed by a vast network of factories in China that are able to quickly manufacture new products based on the latest trends.
Time now for sports update. Nepali para swimmer Harkaman Gharti is training in Kathmandu ahead of the Asian Para Games in Japan in October, aiming to compete for medals despite limited resources. The 21-year-old swimmer, who was born without arms, trains daily in a 25-meter swimming pool, relying on his legs and torso to move through the water. Gharti is training alongside 3 other disabled swimmers who are set to represent Nepal at the Games. Their preparations highlight the challenges faced by para-athletes in Nepal, where limited funding and training facilities remain major obstacles to international competition. Despite the constraints, Gharti and his teammates are continuing their preparations as they seek to improve their performances and secure medals for Nepal. Faceless humanoid robots broke human speed records and drew hundreds of spectators at the World Robot Games in Beijing over the weekend, highlighting China's rapid advances in humanoid robotics. A Tiangong Ultra robot, developed by the Beijing Humanoid Robot Innovation Center, completed the 400-meter race nearly 5 seconds faster than the men's world record. The same model on Saturday ran 100 meters in 9.39 seconds, about 0.2 of a second faster than Usain Bolt's 9.58-second men's world record. The performances demonstrated the increasing speed and agility of humanoid robots as developers seek to make machines capable of performing tasks that traditionally require human movement and coordination. The event attracted large crowds, with spectators watching humanoid robots compete in athletic events designed to test their speed, balance, coordination, and mobility. Now on to weather updates, first from Nepal and then from across the world. This brings us to the end of this bulletin, but before we say goodbye, here's a quick reminder of our top stories. 10 arrested over killing of 3-year-old girl in Bara of southern Nepal. Lawmakers demand probe over leaked statement of the accused. Political uncertainty and frequent leadership change grip Nepal's provincial governments. Bagmati reschedules floor tests for tomorrow. Government's push to connect entire country with telecommunication services materializing. 4G internet launched in Barimalika. AIBD's 24th General Conference kicks off in Kathmandu. Broadcasters discuss AI and digital transformation. China and India set to hold border talks in Beijing tomorrow. Ajit Doval to lead the Indian delegation. And Nepal defeats Hobart Hurricanes in top-end T20 series being held in Australia. Wins by 39 runs. That is it for this edition of NTV World News Hour. Do join us through our social media and get the latest updates from our official website at nepaltelevision.com. Thank you for watching. Good night.